Everybody, welcome in. Happy Monday. The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Mr. Kev Nash, happy Monday. Welcome in.
What up, doe?
The famous what up, doe. People get upset when you're not here to drop the what up, doe.
It feels like I haven't been here in a while.
You haven't been here in a while. I've had last Wednesday, which was my Friday. I didn't do the what up, doe. And people are like, can you do at least a what up, doe, just to make it feel like Kev Nash is here? So well,
get ready because I'm not here this Wednesday either. So I'll give them an extra. What up, doe?
So there's that. Lots to get into here today. We react to NFL Week 10. A little bit of a calm Week 10. The Cincinnati Bengals in a bye week. They now prepare coming out of the bye week at 5-4, looking ahead to your Pittsburgh Steelers.
We got a win.
You did get a win, and congratulations, by the way. I don't think your team is going to end up finishing last in this division after the crap that I saw yesterday. We'll get into that coming up here in just a moment. Ohio State football, look, boring weekend for them. Like, this is the way I feel about Ohio State today is how I was hoping to feel about them a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana was not a game I circled saying, oh, man, look out. Like, that was just, a whatever week. Northwestern was supposed to be that. Northwestern. The weather at least opened the door for a little bit of, hectic, reaction as far as that's concerned. But here we are. We're heading into the second to final week of the regular season.
Man.
When Keith said next week's Michigan week, I'm like, oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's almost here. It was Maryland week.
Yes.
So whatever that means. But
take care of business.
Yeah, we'll get to that around the corner. College basketball side of things, the Dayton Flyers, they moved up in the rankings. They're number 23, I believe now. I have to go on the 21, but nonetheless, they move up in the rankings, so that's pretty cool. They get 2-0 to start the season. They played Lindenwood, whatever, but you know what? The score indicated that they played Lindenwood. They blew them out, and then they broke out the throwbacks,
nice.
The light blue jerseys on this past Friday night, so that was pretty exciting. But the Dayton Flyers move up to number 21. My apologies. They moved up 3 spots from number 24 to number 21. They're 2-0. Again, they just beat SMU this past Friday night, 74-62. Closer than I thought it was going to be, but at the same time, it finished a 12-point win for Dayton, and they were an 11-point favorite. So, again, good for Vegas.
They always know. They always know.
And it was an 11-point game. They hit a free throw or something there towards the end, and I'm like, man, that Vegas is going to hit this on the dots. But, again, it wasn't the prettiest. The 3-point shooting is in the early going, something to be concerned about, but that's not the topic here. They moved up, number 21. Talked in the past, when you talk about the Dayton Flyers, during the Archie Miller run, they put that number in front of Dayton, and all of a sudden they just played so tight as a team. They just didn't look like the same team. Those Archie Miller teams loved being that underdog. This Dayton team, the Anthony Grant Dayton teams, it's like they play in to who they're supposed to be. That back in 2020 they did that. They were exactly who they were expected. They were more than what they expected to be. But every week as they moved up those rankings, it didn't add pressure to them at all. That talking point that used to exist when Archie was here is no longer here for this Dayton team. Deron Holmes, the real deal, and Shara Jumps. I'd said Shara Jams. There's a reason everyone calls him Mongolian Mike because they don't want to try and pronounce the last name. But Jim Day. I wasn't at the arena on Friday, but Jim Day called the game on Bally Sports.
Okay.
And I like listening to him call college basketball. I think I hear his voice. My wife was like, is that Jim Day? I'm like, she recognized his voice right off the bat. I'm like, yes, it is. Like she, recognized him from baseball and everything, but he did a good job at Shara Jumps. I'm just going to follow what Jim Day says. Shara Jumps. But that kid, for a freshman, the vision he has, the feel of the game, that kid's pretty exciting. Him and Deron Holmes together, that's exciting stuff.
Lethal combination in the A10, already 21. Look for them to move up to the top 15 by the time conference play gets here.
Well, they got a couple more non-cons, and then, of course, they head to that invitational coming up. They got Wisconsin around the corner. So they're going to be challenged in the non-con, that is for sure. Other college basketball news, how about the Wright State Raiders over the weekend? They've had a very interesting start to the season because, they make the NCAA tournament last year, second time in 5 years. They get their first tournament win in program history at UD Arena over Bryant. That was pretty cool. They go face the 1 seed. It was actually like within 10 heading into the final moments of that game, which is pretty cool with like in single digits. That's a big deal when you're 16 versus 1, whatever. But then they open up. They just dominated that game against Davidson. Dominated. And then they give up that 21-point lead or whatever it was. And a lot of that was, they did not shoot the ball as well in the second half, but Davidson couldn't miss.
Right.
And then they lose in double overtime. But Trey Calvin had 37 points, the guard, one of the guards that returned. That played a pivotal role in their success last season. He didn't bounce. Tanner Holden bounced to Ohio State. Grant Basile bounced to Virginia Tech. Trey Calvin decided to stick around, and he's been rewarded for it because he's been just on fire to start. 37 points, a career high against Davidson. Unfortunately, the Wright State lost at home in double overtime against the defending A-10 regular season champs from last season. Then they go on the road and face Louisville. I'm like, man, they're going to start out 0-2, right? Like that's what many people that you see Louisville. This isn't Rick Pitino's Louisville team by any means. Wright State goes in there and they win 73-72. Trey Calvin, who had 37 points, a career high against Davidson, now goes on the road and hits the game winner. Two hands in his. It was Dame time. Dame time. It was all over the place. But Wright State to get a road win.
Awesome.
ACC opponent at the buzzer. Trey Calvin. I mean, the storylines are writing themselves. That damn Davidson loss.
Right.
When they lost, I wasn't doing the moral victory thing, but I'm like, that's good for them for challenging themselves right off the bat. Usually your first game, you're playing a no-name opponent, but some could say Wright State is someone's no-name opponent, if you will. But they came out on top. College basketball, it's beyond fun in this city right now, so pretty exciting stuff.
Oh, man. So you were at the Davidson game. I was not. So I'm watching the game on ESPN Plus, and I'm seeing us being Wright State, beat the crap out of Davidson. I'm going crazy at the house. I'm like, this is awesome. And then what happens in basketball is what always happens. The other team goes on a run. And not only goes on a run, they go on a run to tie up the big game and it push it to overtime. And obviously, Wright State ultimately loses that game. So when they have Louisville on Saturday, I forget all about it. I didn't even know about it.
Yep.
It kind of just slipped out of my mind with everything going on with Ohio State. And, Ohio State coming off of the Northwestern game. So it was must-watch TV for me because, how do we bounce back from a quote-unquote bad week for the Buckeyes? So it wasn't until you text me and say, are you watching the game? And I was like, wait, of course I'm watching the game. Of course I thought you were talking about Ohio State. And then I know the Wright State game. So then I immediately, let me check the score. And I'm like, we're winning. And Ohio State is blowing them out, turning on to the Wright State game. So I actually got a chance to see the buzzer beater, man. What an awesome feeling that must be. I mean, he hit the buzzer beater in the Horizon tournament as well, for Wright State to go on to the big dance.
He sent it in. I can't remember the shot he hit against Davidson, but he forced overtime or he forced the double overtime. And then there was the inbounds pass that was deflected. Calvin got it, nearly banked it in as time expired there. But he's been Mr. Clutch. He's been Mr. Everything. But fun start to the season for Wright State. UD living up to expectations, 2-0 on the season. But if you're a college basketball fan, and I'm not getting into the Wright State versus UD thing. People love to do that on the Facebook page. And I was like, I would put an end to that quickly. I'm like, stop. This is going to be a fun year for both teams.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best to not get into the childish back and forth. Both teams, UD's successful as hell. They don't need Wright State to be successful. Obviously, no one ever said that. Wright State doesn't need them to be successful either. Two good basketball programs here in this city alone, and it's going to be fun. It's already been fun. We're only 2 games in, so there's that. But yes.
Speaking of college basketball, did you see Eastern Michigan and Michigan game?
I see Shaw is bringing up Imani Bates. So what happened?
He was cooking. He looked like how he was expected to look. He looks like a 5-star 18-year-old playing right now. Like him in college last year at Memphis, people forget he was 17. He graduated from high school early to enroll. Now he looks like he's how he's supposed to look. He dropped 30 on Michigan, and everybody knows how good Michigan is at basketball. I mean, he was cooking out there. So Eastern Michigan, no, they're not UD, they're not Wright State. They're out of our, watch radius and everything like that. But Imani Bates looks like he might be finding his form, man. He dropped 30 on Michigan. Ultimately, Michigan won the game, but Imani Bates definitely looked like himself on versus Michigan the other night.
I pull for guys like Imani Bates when they go to programs like that because we need, everything's a copycat. Sometimes these young players need to see an example of something working out that's outside of the norm for them to maybe picture themselves in that situation. Because a lot of times talent like that, they'll stockpile themselves on a Penny Hardaway roster over at Memphis because, well, that's where all the 4s and 5s are going. Penny Hardaway's kind of he kind of has in college basketball, though it's not an HBCU, he has that prime, Penny Hardaway has that primetime vibe over there with Memphis. Like, you have a program that no one's ever, really paying attention to, that now all the top talent is looking to go there. They're picking Memphis over Kentucky and Duke and some of these. Amani Bates, decommitted from Michigan State and then chose to go play for Hardaway, which, he chose to play for Hardaway. He didn't choose to play at Memphis. He chose to play for Hardaway. But I'm pulling for this guy, Amani Bates. If he succeeds here, gets to the league and makes it, that's just another example of, okay, you don't have to go to these big time programs to make it to where you need to go. It doesn't hurt. Don't get me wrong. But that was pretty cool seeing that over the weekend as well. But yeah, college basketball getting a little more interesting now. I almost saw Michigan State, who came in at number 26 today in the AP poll. They gave up that double-digit lead against Gonzaga. You see, Gonzaga had no intentions of opening up with college basketball today, but here we are. So there's that. But
dude Gonzaga has been there forever.
Yeah. What?
Dude with the mustache.
Yeah, Timmy.
He's been there forever.
NIL. But he was going to go to the league. Because why not?
Right.
But he's paid a lot of money to come back for another year. And I think, college basketball, I think the transfer portal has been horrible for college basketball, but I think NIL is going to be great for college basketball. That's why you look at Michigan, you see that Dickinson kid.
Yeah.
That's another one. Now, I'm not well versed on Michigan basketball. I don't know how much of a dominant NBA prospect he would have been, but he would at least tested the waters, G League or gone pro, just because, hey, there's money there. But now that there's money in college, these dudes are sticking around another year. To recognize the faces of these guys, to know who these guys are, that's huge for college basketball. It's nice turning on games now and you recognize some of these faces from the NCAA tournament a year ago.
One more thing about Amani Bates, what I appreciate about him and whatever the coach up there at Eastern Michigan's name is, they moved him off the ball. He went to Memphis because they were going to make him a point guard, the big point guard and everything like that. His handle isn't tight enough to be a point guard. And what they did, like, hey, man, we got a point guard. We're going to move you off the ball, and you're just going to do what you do, which is score. And that's what you should do. That's what good coaches do. You don't let the prospect dictate what they want to become. Like, yo, I want you to become this. His skill set isn't that. His skill set is put the ball in the hole. It isn't set people up and, be the playmaker. His job is to put the ball in the hole. And for his first game, his real debut in college basketball, he dropped 30 points. But you're right. Having recognizable names in college basketball helps the sport tenfold. We were talked about this way back in July when all the guys from North Carolina decided to come back to North Carolina, and all those guys are back on the roster. So all those guys that could have went pro that stayed because they got nice checks NIL wise, that's only going to help them, obviously, but it helps the sport because we know who these guys are going into the season. We don't have to get to know them once March Madness comes around. College basketball is going to be awesome this season.
518-1410, 518-1410, college basketball. Opening up the show with that today. Don't worry, I'm not avoiding the Browns. I'm actually pissed off at the Browns. In fact, this is, for those of you who think that I'm a Browns homer, I'm about to anger some Browns fans today, coming up here around the corner. I've been super annoyed with the Fire Stefanski crowd. I'm not really there yet, but I'm also not a Stefanski guy today. We'll get to that coming up around the corner. The Cleveland Browns, I'll just say their season's done. They're not making the playoffs. Like, you're not going to hear a peep from me of saying, oh, well, when they get Deshaun Watson, but it don't matter. My whole big thing about the Browns was keep your head above water until Deshaun Watson gets back. But right now, they're not a Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson led the league in total yards passing and touchdowns in 2020, the last time he played, and the Houston Texans won like 4 games. Like, clearly it's not drop Deshaun Watson on the roster and all the defensive problems go away. And that's what the problem with the Browns right now is more than anything. Tua Tagovailoa, we also need to start having real conversations about where he ranks in the pecking order of elite quarterbacks in the NFL, because I think we got to stop acting like this dude's just along for the ride. He's the one driving that bus a little bit. We'll talk about that coming up around the corner. But we'll get back into some college basketball conversation later on. Thoughts on, what you guys saw at the arena this past Friday night, the return of the light blue jerseys. There's always been talks of that. I think the school did a very good job. We didn't get to talk about that Thursday, Friday, both of us off. That was cool the way they teased that on social media earlier in the week. Kudos to UD, because the social media tease was badass. Like, started earlier in the week, they just changed their profile picture just with the light blue in the back. And then every day they just kind of teased something else. And then it really got the buzz and everyone talking. And then they made the announcement Thursday, and then boom, off and rolling on Friday. But that was neat. I was hoping to see like the floor again, always something more, right? But yeah, I thought it looked cool, but it would look cooler if they had like the floor to match it. But college athletics, there's just not enough money. There's just not enough money. So, yeah. All right, 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. The Bengals coming out of a bye week, they turned their attention towards Kev Nash's Pittsburgh Steelers, who are coming off a win themselves. And, while the Bengals are getting healthier, unfortunately for the Bengals, so are the Steelers. We'll talk about what that means for their matchup coming up this week. The Browns, their season is done. I'm giving up on this Browns team this season. I'll tell you why on the other side. Plus, we'll get into some more of that college basketball talk about the Dayton Flyers. 518-1410, more of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
The Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Houday Nation, Betfred has come all the way from England to the great state of Ohio with over 50 years of sports betting experience. No emperors, no movie stars, just a sportsbook you can trust. The Betfred Sportsbook app will be available on January 1st, 2023. Until then, download the Bengals app or go to betfredsports.com and have a chance to win Bengals tickets and exclusive merchandise. Official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is here. Get a bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, plus a small seasoned potatoes. That's a better breakfast for just $3 in 3 easy steps. 1, wake up. 2, get out of bed. And 3, head to Wendy's for your $3 breakfast deal. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hour. Select a request $3 breakfast deal in order to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combos orders. Price and participation may vary in Alaska and Hawaii.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Okay, can I have everybody's attention for just a second?
Morgan's media planning firm just landed a multi-million-dollar client.
Because we won the pitch.
She needs to staff up before trafficking hits a traffic jam.
So we're going to need research, planning, buying, obviously, and probably data analytics.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So, Anthony Bauer on Facebook, Kev, because it's actually chapel blue, Kinner. Well, congratulations to you and your kindergarten degree where you can identify colors. It's blue. It was light blue. That's what we're rolling with. Like the need of these people sometimes to feel like they have to be so, like they have to just nitpick everything, Kev.
Chapel blue?
Chapel blue.
Let me see what the Google machine
It's
says.
no, it's chapel blue. He's correct, but it's just like that's of all the things that I could say to annoy people. It's because I said light blue and not chapel blue.
Oh, I mean, it makes sense. I see why it's called chapel blue, and
it's not Dayton blue. It's chapel blue. I wonder why it's chapel blue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, what do you call the color that North Carolina wears?
Light blue. Carolina blue.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. North Carolina blue. Carolina blue. I get it. No,
but this is why I can't stand some of their fans sometimes because they just.
What's Ohio State colors?
They're red and gray, right? But let's be clear, they're always scarlet and gray. And the thing is,
that's a branding thing, though.
I've never. I mean, these guys wet their pants because they changed the color of their shirt.
I thought you said you're gonna be nice today.
Until that moron pissed me off. Of all the things I could say that, I have to correct him. Oh no, he's an idiot. It's chapel blue. Well, damn it, it's just blue. My gosh. So
I'm finding out all types of cool things about UD.
No, I think it's about me.
No, I know a lot about you already.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, probably the reason I let my blood pressure get all up is because I know I have to come back and talk about the Cleveland Browns, who, they showed up.
Let's talk about it, would you?
They showed up in Miami yesterday, but they didn't show up in Miami yesterday. To be fair, it was 20 degrees hotter on their side? There we go. It's 20 degrees hotter on their side. No. Cleveland drops to 3-6 on the season. And here's the deal. So some guy on Facebook every week, he's been bringing up Kevin Stefanski. And I'm like, dude, come on. Stop. This team has issues that go beyond, I'm not going to judge Stefanski until he gets, a legitimate starting quarterback in the National Football League. Thought he did a very good job with Baker Mayfield. Okay, whatever. Baker Mayfield's no longer there. We now see how bad Baker Mayfield is. So it's kind of like, well, damn, if Stefanski, he got way more out of him than Matt Rule or whoever the hell is running Carolina right now, Carolina Blue. So, there's that. But it's just one of those things that, I was just like, well, you got Jacoby Brissett. I'm not going to worry about any of that until we see, if he's making these same mistakes with Deshaun Watson, then we have a problem. But the problem is one of the crazier stats that I saw today, and that's just what's, fascinating, the run game for the Cleveland Browns. Okay. So, I guess two of the last three opponents have outrushed Cleveland when you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? You have the whole reason you didn't trade Kareem Hunt away is because you were supposed to maximize the run game with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Now, Nick Chubb is obviously the top running back in the NFL, although he totally disappeared yesterday. Not really sure what happened there. Is that a him thing? But how do you come out flat out of a bye week?
Did they come out flat? You thought they came out flat?
That's not true. They came out hot right out of the bye week. They went on that scoring drive right down the field. But then, how mentally weak of a team do you have to be to then, after that, they just completely disappear, Kev. Jacoby Brissett, 22 of 35, 1 touchdown, 212 yards. Okay, cool. Jacoby, he just can't make those big bomb throws. He's good for about 1 a game, if that. And obviously that's some of the resistance there. But, as a combined rushing for the Browns yesterday, Nick Chubb only carried the ball 11 times. How does Nick Chubb only carry the ball 11 times? Now, I look at the score, it's 39-17. I don't want to hear about, they were behind in the game. The whole game, the game was in arm's reach for about 75% of the afternoon. So that means for 75% of the afternoon, you could have really rode your strength which is your run game. Critics credit on this about Kevin Stefanski is he's calling the offense as if he already has Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson's your quarterback, Kev, who last time he played in the NFL led the league in rushing and touchdowns and rushing passing and touchdowns. He was an elite quarterback the last time. If that's your quarterback and you're opting to go, in a passing league today, in today's game, it's a passing league. If you're opting to throw the ball 35 times with Deshaun Watson and only run the ball 11 times with Nick Chubb, you know what? I don't like it because Nick Chubb's too damn good to only touch the ball 11 times, but it's warranted. But when Jacoby Brissett is dropping back 35 times and Nick Chubb's only touching the ball 11, and there's so many other things we can critique Stefanski on, but it's not even about how you use your running back, how you use your quarterback. It's just this I looked over at some friends. I was watching the game with them yesterday. I said, this has all the vibes of the Patriots game where they were kind of hanging in there. And then all of a sudden everything snowballed.
Yeah.
And that's what happened yesterday. The game just snowballed. And it's like they just mentally at a certain point, you know what? We quit. And I don't want to take anything away from Miami because I think, Miami is one of those teams that no matter how good they play, no matter how good Tua Tagovailoa plays, no one wants to give them any dang credit. I think it's about time people start giving the Dolphins a little bit of credit because Tua Tagovailoa is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year. I don't think that's a hot take. Maybe a little hot take coming into yesterday, but this is the 3rd straight week that he's thrown for 3 touchdowns. He's thrown for 950 yards and 9 touchdowns in the last 3 games. All right. He's thrown for 11 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards in the last 4 games since coming back from the, going out at halftime against the Cincinnati Bengals. Like the dude is, he's only good because of his weapons. Well, I watched Joe Burrow look like an MVP candidate last year with Jamar Chase, and now he's threw for 200 yards the last time he was out on the field because there's no Jamar Chase. Yes, you're only as good as the weapons around you. And, so it's just one of those, give Miami credit. But the Cleveland Browns, Kev, they're done. Their season's done. I don't care if they come out and beat Buffalo this coming up week. The reason they're done is because every week that Patriots game exists. Every week that Dolphins game exists. The defense from weeks 1 through 6, it returned. One of the biggest differences for the Browns the last couple of weeks, I thought one of their better games of the season was actually that loss against the Ravens. I thought they played really well against the Ravens. I thought it was a very good balanced attack. I thought they did very well offensively. They ran the ball, did a good job passing the ball. Amari Cooper was heavily involved, and then the defense was swarming to Lamar, swarming to the ball. Obviously, they lost, but, they had the ball last. Cleveland, that was a tough loss. Cincinnati dominated defensively. They were great offensively. It looked like they were rolling. That's why I hated the bye week coming up when it did, because I was like, man, I kind of just want to see this team just get right back out there. And, it just felt like I didn't get the same vibes of this team yesterday that I did the last couple of weeks. So they're done because it's just one of those, no matter how good, and they have flashes where they look solid at times. And then there's just those moments like what we see against the Patriots and like what we saw against yesterday, this team just rolls out. And then, of course, in typical Kevin Stefanski fashion, I'm so sick of the coach's quotes. Like, I'm over it. Okay. I'm over the coach's quotes. Like, let's stop it with all of this. Stefanski goes, I know that locker room. I know that leadership. First of all, what leadership? I would love for you to point out what leadership do the Cleveland Browns have. Myles Garrett is a talent. I don't know if he's a leader. I don't think Myles Garrett's a leader. When has Myles Garrett made a play in a crunch time? And you've been calling this out for many, many years now. When's the last time Myles Garrett made a play in a moment in a game that mattered? Okay. Not beating up on Joe Burrow after you're already up 3 possessions. Right? Not beating up on these bad teams. I mean, a play that mattered. When they needed him the most, nowhere. Now they're running the ball right past him yesterday too, so that doesn't help. But it's just, so Stefanski, I know that locker room. I know the leadership that we have on this team. Maybe that's the problem. I know they're disappointed. We've got to control what we can control right now, which is own this one, learn from it, move on, and then find a way next week. First of all, he's been spewing out this garbage all season. That's why I tweeted out earlier, man, he has this response. I mean, he has this down pat right now. Like he has this just tattooed on the back of his hand. I'm tired of the quotes. Results, just go win. Stop it with we got to learn from this. We got to learn from this. We got to learn from this. My goodness, eventually, I don't think you're capable of learning that because this team's not getting better. In fact, they showed what I felt good about 2 weeks ago was that they were getting better. They looked like they improved against the Ravens. They got even better against the Bengals. And then they regressed back to the way they looked in weeks 1 through 6 where they couldn't stop a nosebleed. The defense is horrendous. Joe Woods is garbage. Kevin Stefanski, a lot of excuses have been made, including by me, about let's wait for him to get a quarterback. Let's wait for him to get a quarterback. I don't care if Deshaun Watson comes back this week. And I don't care if he comes back this week and is picking up where he left off in 2020. They're not beating anyone of significance, and they're definitely not making the playoffs because of this defense and the effort and just the way that they pick and choose when they want to respond to coaching. Very weird. I'm pissed off. The Cleveland Browns, they're done. Maybe next year. So yeah, very frustrating yesterday. I mean, I was fuming yesterday because I'm like, there's no excuse today. I have no excuse. This is just straight up anger at my team because they are not showing up. They're just not showing up. And then you look at the box score in 11 carries for Nick Chubb. That's just ridiculous. I give the Titans credit. The Titans know they don't have an elite quarterback. They know they don't have an elite pass game, but they continue to just pound the ball to Derrick Henry. Why wouldn't the Browns do the same thing with Nick Chubb, especially when you have Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback? I don't know what else to say at this point.
Myles Garrett. That's what I'll say. Myles Garrett, after coming off what I thought was his best game as a pro versus Cincinnati Bengals, not only was he harassing Joe Burrow before it was late, but he was a force in the run game whenever the Bengals did decide to run the ball. He was a force out there. He was causing havoc. In this game, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And when you don't have an elite quarterback, a quarterback that is a franchise quarterback, that responsibility goes to the not only the highest paid player on the team, but the most popular player on the team. All that brunt should go to his way because he is the leader of the team. Unfortunately, that's how it goes in pro sports. When you are the highest paid, you are looked at, especially from the fans, to be the leader of the defense. And I don't think he made any plays yesterday, like at all. And I don't want to hear this talk about, well, he's a pass rusher. Well, he's shown the ability to be very good against the run. The Browns are just like him. They get up for certain games and they just go through the motions through certain games. And that, if you guys remember, that was like his knock coming out of college. Like, well, when they play Texas, he plays good football. But when they're playing like Arkansas, he just, is just there. So does he have to be a big game for Myles Garrett to give effort? I don't know, because all I ever see
a big game, right?
Yeah, I would imagine coming out of a bye week after you just beat your biggest rival in the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're coming out of the bye week, you get rested up, and now you're getting ready for the second half of the season. You got that carrot down the line that Deshaun Watson's coming back. So like, let's get over the hump. Let's get back to 500 before Deshaun Watson comes back, and then we can ride off into the sunset and make the playoffs. But there was just nothing out there offensively from the Cleveland Browns that first drive. And, when you got a coach like Stefanski, I almost think like those first drives, you might as well just go put 7 points on the board, because he has those plays written up so well, and those scripted plays. The Browns, I don't know this for sure, but I'm almost willing to bet they are the number one team in the NFL in scripted plays in the first quarter. Like, it seems like they always score points in their opening drive. But it's not only that. The game isn't played just the first drive. It's 4 quarters of football. So why aren't you making these adjustments that the defense is making adjustments to you on? And you talked about the defense, man. I understand they got Waddle. They got Tyreek Hill. But most importantly, man, the run defense is just not there. It's just not there. It's not there with the starters. It's not there with the backups. They need a whole overhaul. And I'm not this guy that jumps on here and says coaches need to be fired to get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. But something is obviously going to change in the offseason. There's no way that you can show back up next season with the entire same coaching staff that you did this season with the Cleveland Browns, especially with the defensive coordinator. Just like I've been saying, there's no way that the Pittsburgh Steelers can show up next year with Matt Canada calling plays. Like, at this point, all right, we pretty much know that these coaches aren't going to be back. We know that these teams aren't going to make the playoffs. So it's kind of just like play out the string, and then we make our adjustments in the coaching staff in the offseason. But for the Browns to have such high expectations and so many brand name players on defense and nobody ever make plays, it's got to be alarming.
We talk about brand name players on that defense. It's not many, though. I hear people all the time, and I was, talking about, man, they're loaded on both sides of the ball. They're not loaded on both sides of the ball. We fell in love with names like Grant Delpit and some of these guys and Newsome and everything, and they have not gotten better in the pros.
Right.
They haven't been developed at all. They were very good coming out of college. That's why we were excited about them coming in. But there's only 2 names on the defense that are worth the damn, and that is Myles Garrett, who we just talked about some of his biggest flaws, and then obviously, Denzel Ward, former Ohio State Buckeye. I know people bring up a lot of name brands on defense. This is not an excuse, by the way. Greg Newsome should have developed into a name by now. Johnson should be better. Johnson's doing a lot of talking. Hey, it's not like, guys haven't been playing well. No, they haven't.
Well, the reason,
especially on your side of the ball, bro. Like that's on. I don't want to hear that.
The reason why Johnson is a name is because he came from the Rams, and he took a discount with the Browns because he believed in this team and all that type of stuff. And they were a lights out defense when he was with the Rams. So he's a name. Obviously, we all know about Denzel Ward, former Ohio State Buckeye. He's a name. Number 1 overall pick in Myles Garrett. Then you got another name in Clowney. So these are names that not only us as fans know, but everybody knows, like across the NFL. Well, they got so-and-so, they got so-and-so. But the reality of the situation, their best defensive player this year has been Taki. That's the reality of the situation. He's been their best, most consistent. I won't say best. He's been their most consistent player on defense.
Like Cormoa being out. That wasn't a Cormoa issue yesterday. Him being out yesterday. That wasn't a him being out like yesterday. Like this is just no one's developed. No one's getting better. Like, say what you want. Denzel Ward got better over time. Myles Garrett improved over time. That's how they turned into these players who have gotten paid as much as they have. Jadeveon Clowney got paid just because he was one of the biggest names available to add to this defense. But I thought he was better for the Browns last year. I don't think, the Browns look better defensively when he's on the field, but not to the amount of which that dude thinks he should be getting paid. The bottom line is that this is not a team that, oh man, we're struggling. Like I keep bringing up the backup quarterback. First of all, the ceiling's low when you come into the season with a backup quarterback. To me, you have a backup quarterback to be in there for you, man. If a guy goes out for a week or two, for some spot time here, about 3 weeks throughout the season. But when you come into a season, when you have to be the starter for 2.5 months, you are not a backup quarterback. You have to be the starting quarterback, and you have a legit backup quarterback being your starter. Cleveland, the problem is, Kev, they're not even losing because of the offense. They're just losing because of the defense. The defense should have been why they've been winning football games, and they're not. But the offense, when they have their best games, like yesterday, one thing too, I think they're mentally weak when it comes to the offense. I think they just got down on themselves because they feed off the defensive momentum. I felt like against Cincinnati and the Ravens, when the defense would get a big stop against Lamar and the Ravens, the offense would come out and they would just have that motivation. You know what I mean? That momentum, they would feed off of that. The offense would feed off the defense against Cincinnati. How many big hits against Joe Burrow, the forced turnovers. And man, Jacoby Brissett and company, they'd go out there, they'd just be feeling themselves. They were riding off that momentum. They have not a good excuse or not. I'm not saying it's fair or not, but it's like that offense needs that defense to make big plays just to carry over that momentum to the offense. They don't know how to sustain it. It's beyond frustrating. I'm just furious about the whole thing. Matt on YouTube says the biggest issue about the Browns defense is Woods is playing the players to his scheme and not to his players' strengths and playing guys out of position. I'm not willing to make adjustments. I do, by the way, 0 adjustments. There's never any adjustments. The same mistake you see in the first quarter, Kev, is the last mistake you see before the game ends. And that's what we saw yesterday. Tua threw for 290-something, 3 touchdowns, but they rushed for 200 yards. The Dolphins played a perfect game yesterday. Quarterbacks in this league will throw on you. They're going to throw on you. Okay. Obviously the officiating is set up to allow the passing game to operate, right?
Right.
Where you win games is stopping the run, and the Browns cannot stop the run. You're not going to stop Josh Allen. You're not going to stop the Burrows. Well, the Browns do, but you're not going to stop the Patrick Mahomes and company, right? Like they're going to get theirs. But what you can do is physically try to man up to stop the run. And the Browns have been soft all season. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired. They're not making the play. I don't care if they get Deshaun Watson back. Deshaun Watson ain't going to come save anything. The only thing this season is doing is get Deshaun back for the last 7 or 6 weeks. Allow him to kind of iron out any wrinkles that he needs to kind of heading into the offseason so they can turn their attention towards next season. But you talk about an overhaul, maybe not an overhaul of the roster, but an overhaul on that defensive side of the ball, and it starts with Joe Woods. Some guy I know you want Clown Fansky gone, as you call him. I don't think Stefanski's going anywhere, but I'll be very surprised if this team's struggling at this point next season. I think he doesn't make all of next season. That's for sure. But, yeah. The excuse train has to stop, waiting for the quarterback, waiting to get healthy, waiting for this, waiting for that. We had Baker Mayfield. Blah, blah. Enough. Because they're not losing games because of a backup quarterback. They're losing games because they can't stop anybody.
And the pass defense, they don't know how to play zone. They don't know how to pattern match zone. And that's directly at coaching. You, as a coach, have to teach them how to run a pattern match zone. Like, it's not a stand there like a Madden defense where, all right, I'm going to just drop to this spot, and if anybody comes here, I'll tackle them. It's like guys get wide open still. So, and we're what, week 12, like the same mistake. So something's got to change if they want to make the playoffs, and obviously
clock's ticking
very fast.
They're not making the playoffs. They're not making I predicted the Browns would miss the playoffs coming in. The reason I'm angry is because they're missing the playoffs for reasons that I did not anticipate coming into the season. I thought they would have a chance to make the playoffs because of the defense, while the offense just kind of hung around until Deshaun got back. No, they're losing. Deshaun's going to come back, and the same reasons they're losing now are the same reasons they'll lose when he gets back. I don't think it's all on the offense. I think Stefanski's decision-making on offense is not helping. We'll see. 518-1410. Kev, who we got?
We got Doug, line 1.
What up, Doug? How are you, sir?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
I got a few things to say. Cleveland, I agree with you about what you just said was the perfect thing, what you said earlier about Myles Garrett. I need you to do something when things matter. And a lot of players do things when things don't matter. Like, for example, Aaron Donaldson and what's his name? They came through for the Rams last year, or Cincinnati probably wins the Super Bowl. And I've been saying that about my Dallas Cowboys for years. And I know, Justin, you don't think that much of Dak, but if somebody can ever get a stop, yeah. But you know what? Okay, yesterday you could say whatever, blah blah blah. But if we get a stop, they get the ball 3 times in the second, and from the fourth quarter to overtime, and we never stopped them one time. You could say, well, maybe he should have scored. Yeah, that's true. But stop him one time. You got to think about all the games that we have a chance to win when our defense don't stop him. He might come down. Last year against Tampa Bay, 4 minutes ago, he drives down, scored a touchdown. We got 29-28. Tom Brady comes down and scores. Stop him one time. Same with the playoff game against Aaron Rodgers. He comes down, tied up 31-31, 46 seconds. Aaron Rodgers comes down there, gets in field goal range, and beats us. Football is the ultimate team game, and you got to have players that can make a stop when you need it. Like, I'd rather have a good defense like the Ravens used to have, where you can't run on them and you can get important stops. Yeah. But, like, I'd rather have that type of defense than like a turnover defense. Dallas been getting ran on for years, and you can count the times that a team will rush for 200 or 300 yards and lose. And, that gets blamed for all that. 5 yards. Who's going to win the game if you give up 275 yards rushing? Not even Tom Brady, not Mahomes. I mean, the list is very slim if you give up 275 yards rushing. We gave up 200 yards rushing to the Bears, 200 yards rushing yesterday, 200 yards rushing to Tampa Bay.
2 interceptions.
And the 2 interceptions, yeah, that's bad. But you still, if you get a stop, though, if you get one stop in the crucial situation, just like you said you want Myles Garrett to do, we still win. You have games when you throw interceptions. You have games when you everything ain't working right. But somebody got to step up and make a play. And it can't always be the quarterback, but that's who gets blamed all the time.
What are they doing? What are the defense? Well, what are the offenses doing different that Micah Parsons isn't making those splash plays anymore? Because I haven't heard his name being called like I did earlier in the season.
Right, because they're just running right underneath him every time. That's all they're doing. Every time he's lined up on the outside, they're just running right underneath him. When he's coming hard to the outside, they're just running underneath him all day long. That's what everybody's doing against us. I heard McCarthy say, well, no, they're going to run on us. Well, McCarthy, if you know they're going to run on us, why we can't do anything about it? I mean, somebody should be able to do something. And like they say, like Micah Parsons is like Lawrence Taylor. No, you couldn't run or pass on Lawrence Taylor. Now, Micah Parsons is nice, but he ain't no LT. So I don't know who keeps saying that. You couldn't do nothing on Lawrence Taylor. Nothing.
So let me ask you this: what did you think about Coach going for it on that fourth down in overtime?
I didn't mind that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't mad about that because I said when I'm sitting there watching it, I said go for it. We're supposed to be able to get a first down.
I agree. I agree. I think he's done a real good job coaching all season long. I know I was banging on him last year about some of his decisions. I had no problem with him going for it on that. Was it like 4th and 2? You're in no man's land.
It was 4th and 3, but like if you miss a 53-yard field goal, then they set up for good position anyway.
Hey, Eagles winning tonight.
I hope not. I hope not, because that game, Aaron Rodgers, he owns us. I just said if we don't beat them this year, we will never beat them because they look so bad and was able to beat us. That just didn't make no sense to me. But it makes sense because we can't never beat him. It don't matter. He'll find a way to beat us in the last second or every time he plays it. I think he's about 8-0 against us.
But, hey, man, appreciate the call.
Okay, take it easy.
518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. We haven't even got to some of the other NFL matchups yesterday. The AFC, the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins are for real. I asked Kevin about that on the other side of the Dolphins for real. We're going to span throughout the NFL. How many teams, we look at the team seasons. The season, their season is either dead, on life support, it's alive. What we got? We're going to go through each NFL team, and Kev's going to tell me if their season's still alive, their season's on life support, or if their season's just dead. We'll get to that on the other side. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the atmosphere is positively electric as we look to the future. Our name may have changed, but Harley-Davidson of Xenia has been locally owned since 1984. Under our new management, the staff in store are buzzing to get you set up for the open road. Whether you're shopping for merchandise, a new bike, or just need some maintenance on your current ride, Harley-Davidson of Xenia is here for you. Visit us online to learn more and to place a reservation on your new bike. hdofxenia.com.
Buckeye football season is back. That means tailgating and parties for the big game. You need the Lee's famous recipe Buckeye Bucket. It comes with 25 pieces of the delicious jumbo breast strips for only $44.99. Of course, you can add a few of their famous country side items, buttermilk biscuits, gallons of fresh brewed Lee's iced tea, or lemonade. You have the perfect recipe for a tailgate or watch party. Cheer on the Buckeyes this weekend with a Buckeye Bucket. Order today.
Save on your next appliance upgrade right now during the last 11% off in 2022. Upgrade your home with top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. We have the largest in-stock appliance selection to take home today at the lowest prices. Upgrade to new energy-efficient appliances. It's your last chance to get 11% off all of them. Good through November 23rd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Did somebody say flatbreads? If you haven't already, you need to get to Twin Peaks and try out the new in-house made flatbreads, featuring 4 options, including the Hottie Jalapeno Popper, Hawaii 5-0, the Italian, and the OG Pepperoni. Ask your Twin Peaks girl for more details. And don't forget, no one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Are you a fan of Twin Peaks? Sign up for the E-Club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Signing up is easy. Just visit twinpeaksrestaurant.com/Peaks Club to get started today.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
An Oral-B electric toothbrush delivers a professional, purifying, clean feeling. So if you want a round brush head inspired by dentists,
come and get it.
And if you want a brush that cleans 100% better than a regular brush for cleaner teeth and healthier gums,
What you waiting for?
Oral-B is the brand dentists worldwide use the most. So maybe it's time you...
Come and get it.
You get it. Oral-B. Brush like a pro.
Make the big game sound even bigger with your new TV and sound system from Audio Etc. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom today and experience 8K TVs and projectors, short throw projectors from 100-inch to 130-inch, all the way to your high-end dream system. Audio Etc has tons of new inventory in stock, while everybody else is back-ordered or out of stock. Get special deals on a TV and your dream system today. Audio Etc can bring any big game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. If you can't afford your dream system, check out our huge selection of vintage and pre-owned components. Audio Etc, powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. 551 Congress Park Drive in Centerville.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
Hey, Buckeye fans, as the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes, Roosters is giving away 12 trips for 2 to this year's Buckeye Bowl game. Each trip comes complete with airfare, hotel, gift bag, and 2 tickets to the big game. One bowl prize winner chosen each week, along with other cool Roosters weekly prizes. So register every week at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Official contest rules at roosterswings.com.
Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Ohio, DraftKings Sportsbook is coming. To celebrate, all new customers will receive $200 in free bets. Plus, 5 lucky customers will win a $100,000 free bet. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you $200 in free bets just for signing up today. No deposit required. Plus, you'll be entered to win a $100,000 free bet when you sign up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up with code WING1410 to get $200 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Ohio. Plus, 5 customers will win a $100,000 free bet only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code WING1410. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. 21 and up. Physically present in Ohio. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regularity licensing requirements. 1 per customer. $200 issued as $825 free bets. No purchase necessary for sweepstakes. Void where prohibited. Ends first day. DraftKings is allowed to operate in Ohio. See terms at dkng.co/OH.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just 1 dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to enjoy all this yummy holiday food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. I just take 1 pill each morning and 0 heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. The Cleveland Browns lose yesterday against the Miami Dolphins, and what was an embarrassing game by the Browns. Like, it's one thing to lose. We've seen the Browns lose close games. You know, they lost to the Chargers in the close game. That made my stomach turn, but they were right there in it, right? Like, the Ravens had a chance to win that game. They were right there in it. Like, I'm not a moral victory guy, but I just want to at least feel like, okay, if your team's bad or team's not playing well, at least they're competitive. At least they're in games. And what I saw yesterday coming out of the bye week, when what I consider every game moving forward a must win for the Browns, or at least at this point of the season, because you're trying to keep your head above water for when Deshaun Watson comes back here in a few weeks. The bottom line is Deshaun Watson, like, let's say Roger Goodell all of a sudden, you know, comes out and says, you know what, I think we're going to go ahead. We'll go ahead and end the suspension early. He's available to play this week against the Bills. You think I'd be happy about that? No, I wouldn't. Because you want to know what? I think the Bills are like an 8.5-point favorite or something crazy like that against the Browns this coming up week. And I'm probably going to say the Browns are going to lose by double digits. The Browns will lose by double digits. Josh Allen got embarrassed. He's pissed off. He's lost 2 straight. The Bills are about to just whoop up on the Browns this coming up weekend. But the bottom line is, if Roger Goodell said, you know what, we're going to end the suspension early, Deshaun, buddy, old pal, come on out. You can come play this week. You know what? That wouldn't change a dang thing for me. The Browns still lose by double digits, because the problem is not necessarily the quarterback play. Could we get more out of Jacoby Brissett? Absolutely. Jacoby Brissett actually has done exactly what you need him to do. He has a backup quarterback to come in, throw for about 240, 250 a game, throw for about 1 to 2 touchdowns a game. He gives you a pick every once in a while. You know, that's not a horrible stat line for a quarterback. Jacoby has done exactly he's done more than what I expected coming in. I thought that the Browns would miss the playoffs this year because you had to have Jacoby Brissett for 11 games. The Browns are missing the playoffs because they have a defense that is just freaking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You spend all that money on Denzel Ward, all that money on Myles Garrett. You know, you do this cat and mouse game where you're chasing Jadeveon Clowney all over the place. You know, you get all these, oh man, the Browns are so deep in the secondary. They got Newsome and they got Delpit and they got this guy and they got that guy. They got nothing. They got nothing. Do I need to? Hold on. What are you looking for?
Do I need to retire the excuse bell then?
There was no excuse.
Do I need to retire it since you're done?
I'm not done. I'm being realistic. This is the one thing that the idiot Bengals fans don't understand.
Oh, there he is.
The intelligent people out there that follow sports can actually be a fan of their team and then actually, I don't know, hold them accountable. I'm not going to try and convince you that 3-6 is good, just like fans of a team that had Super Bowl expectations, only one game over 500 2 months into the season. That's not good either. So, no. Bengals fans, you could actually learn something from me. So even though we're not talking about your team, at least, you know, take some notes and learn how to be a good sports fan here. It's okay to criticize your team. Doesn't make you a bad fan. It actually makes you a good fan. The Cleveland Browns, at the end of the day, for me right now, they're not making the playoffs. I didn't predict them to make the playoffs coming in anyways, but it's not for the reasons I said. Absolute embarrassment yesterday. They couldn't stop anybody and it's not just because their defense is bad. It's because they're not tough. They're a bunch of wimps. They can't stop anybody. The Dolphins just finessed them. The Dolphins didn't even overpower them. That's the thing that's even worse about the Browns. They're not even getting overpowered. They're just being out-finessed because they're that soft. They're that soft. And it's an absolute embarrassment. And I will say there is nothing wrong with losing to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are actually a very good football team. That might be the team that ends up winning that division when it's all said and done, because they have been stout defensively. They have been fantastic offensively, and they're not showing any signs of slowing down whatsoever. There is concerns about Josh Allen and that potential injury. I have concerns about Josh Allen being an idiot and trying to truck guys over. You know, we talk about how reckless Lamar is, but whenever Josh Allen tries to truck people over, oh man, look at the toughness. No, I see an idiot. Okay. If that's my quarterback, I would love if Josh Allen was my quarterback, but I'd be furious every time I saw him try to truck people over. Dude, you're going to get hurt and miss some key time and miss, opportunities heading into the playoffs, which, by the way, almost happened yesterday because he's an idiot, threw an interception, and then he tried to be a linebacker. That's exactly how Baker Mayfield got hurt 2 years ago or last year, whatever it was, because he threw an interception and then tried to be Ray Lewis, and then look what happened. He looked more like Ray Lewis's victim than he did.
Whoa.
What?
Acquitted on our charges.
So I didn't say anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong.
We got Paul on line 1.
Let's go to Paul. Paul, what is up, sir? How are you? Paul,
Justin, I tell you what, Justin, you're a Browns fan, right?
Yes.
All right, you need to cut them some slack you need to take a lesson in football 101. I've been a Browns fan since 1946. I've been with them through thick and thin. You sound like you're ready to jump ship. As a loyal Browns fan, which you claim to be, now you do not jump ship after 9 games. They're only 3-6. What if they win out, go on a streak, and win their last 8 games? What would you say then? Would you are you just a Browns fan when they're doing good, or can you stick with them through the thick and thin?
Well, let's be clear. If I was only a Browns fan when they're doing good, I would have quit being a Browns fan a long time ago. Now, let's be clear. I know what you're saying. If they win the next 8 games straight and they go on a run into the playoffs, all I'm going to say at that point is, wow, remember back in week 10 when I was criticizing them for playing so poorly? Then you know what I'm going to say after they've won 8 straight? I'm going to say, hey, guess what? They weren't playing so poorly anymore. I'm reacting to who the Browns are right now, and they're a 3-6 football team. And with all due respect, sir, I'm not going to cut them any slack. I've been defending them for weeks now, and they're getting worse. That was embarrassing yesterday. They are soft. I'm not jumping ship. I'm just being critical, sir.
I agree. It was an embarrassment yesterday. It's one of the worst games that the Browns probably ever played in their history.
Are you jumping ship? Are you jumping ship, sir? Are you a Browns fan? Are you a loyal Brown? You don't sound loyal.
I've been a Browns fan since day one when Paul Brown gave birth to the Cleveland Browns in 1946. I will not jump ship, and I've been with them through thick and thin when they went 0-16 under Freddie Kitchen, and I've been with them when they come close to going to the Super Bowl under Bernie Kosar, I believe.
They weren't 0-16 with Freddie Kitchens.
Marvin, who was the coach?
So close. Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson. Well, Hugh Jackson was a refugee from the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
Yes. But Hugh Jackson was actually a good get at the time. It didn't work out, but everyone was going after Hugh Jackson. A refugee from the Bengals.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hugh Jackson right now is probably selling pencils somewhere in Arizona because he couldn't coach the Bengals. He couldn't coach the Browns. So I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't heard anything from him. Him and Herm Edwards may be down there begging on the street corners because both of them used to be coaches, but I haven't heard anything from either one of them.
I know. Hey, how's Arnold doing, by the way?
Who?
Your grandson, Arnold, the football head.
You're pulling my leg, Gary, buddy.
I'm just giving you a hard time. But no, listen, I'm not jumping ship. I am a Browns fan. I'm just being critical. That's all. I'm just being critical. And I think it's fair to be critical. You're supposed to be critical. Because you know what? If you're not critical, sir, you're a Bengals fan. If you could only, if you try to convince people that bad is good, then you're a Bengals fan at that point. I'm trying to show Bengals fans that it's okay to be critical of your team when they're being bad.
Well, the Bengals went almost all the way and lost on the last play of the season to the Kansas City. Or no,
close.
The LA Rams.
Yep.
The LA Rams won the Super Bowl last year. But you don't jump. You told me you're not jumping ship, but you're close to the gangplank. You're right out there getting ready to jump off into the ocean. So you're close to jumping ship.
I don't know. But so what do I have to say for it to not be considered jumping ship? Am I supposed to say that their defense played well yesterday?
Well, Myles Garrett had a bad game, but you can't have an outstanding game every game. You know,
when you're paid like
his
him.
His bad games is few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the Eagles is going great guns this year. They may go all the way to the Super Bowl. The Eagles are playing great guns.
You've never called before. You need to call more. This was fun.
Well, I know Shaw, and Shaw told me to call.
Oh, now it all makes sense. Okay, all right, that's excellent.
Give it up
How
for
do you
Paul.
know Shaw?
Give it up for Paul.
How do you know Shaw?
When Shaw calls, that just makes my day because he tries to get your goat and you try to get his, and it's kind of a you win half of the time, he wins half the time, but you're still friends, you know.
No, we are not friends, and I never lose. I never lose.
They're buddies, Paul. They go golfing on the weekends. Don't
No,
let
we
them
have
tell you
never golfed
anything
together.
different.
I know, and Shaw probably they probably bet a case of beer or something on every game, and Shaw wins every time, and Justin loses.
All right. You know what, sir? I'm jumping ship. It was good talking to you.
Well, who do you pull for on Sunday afternoon when you're sitting there watching the game? Or do you have? Yeah, I know you pull for Keith Byers and the Buckeyes.
Oh, you mean on Saturdays? Yeah, Ohio State.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah, Ohio State.
Absolutely. The Buckeyes is going to go all the way and win the national championship this year. I listen to Keith Byers all the time, and Keith Byers will never jump ship off the Buckeyes, and here you are thinking about jumping ship from the Browns, man.
But the Browns are
And the
3-6. Ohio State, a down year, is 2 losses and still a Rose Bowl championship. I mean, my goodness, the Browns, they're 3-6. They're embarrassing. They lost to the Jets. All right, which Jets is actually a pretty good football team now, but at the time, you lost an 11-point lead with 90 seconds to go. That Browns is the Browns. When the Browns are good, the Browns are good, but that's very few in between, man. Like, it's not often.
You need to follow Keith Byers' example. He's a true blue Ohio State Buckeye fan. If they win one game all season and beat Michigan, Keith Byers considers the season a success.
I don't know about that one, but it will be
that's the example of true blue loyalty. Keith Byers is in the Webster's Dictionary under the definition of loyalty.
All right,
and
sir.
Keith Byers is one of the best football players that the Buckeyes ever had on the field. He even scored a touchdown running with one. He had lost a shoe, and he still run 70 yards for a touchdown.
I know. Look at the Browns, 3-6. Look at all these Browns players wearing 2 shoes and still can't even win more than 3 games.
I don't know what happened to Chubb. He couldn't run against Troy High School yesterday. But anyhow, I enjoy listening to you and Keith, though. And when you're out there at that place where you go to and talk, and I enjoy. I listen all the time. I never have thought about calling in until Shaw told me, said you got to call in and straighten Justin out.
Well, how do you think you did? Do you think you won today?
Oh, on a score of 1 to 5, I come up with a 2.
All right. One more, and you're at the Browns win total here as we sit here. But, hey, take care.
Anyhow, don't jump ship, Justin. The Browns are going to go on a streak. They're going to win their last 8 games, and then we'll see how you feel.
Sounds like a plan, sir. Thank you for the call. 518-1410. No, I'm not jumping ship. I'm being critical. You're allowed to be critical. Being a sports fan, you are not a part of a cult. It is not like you're not, people when they're fans of a sports team, they act like they're not allowed to say anything bad about their cult leader, the team that they follow. No. The Browns were ass yesterday. They were bad. That was embarrassing. The Dolphins are a very good football team, but I don't think that the gap between the Dolphins and the Browns is what we saw yesterday. But when they just mentally don't show up, that's a problem. And it happens way too many times. They mentally disappeared in the loss against the Jets, right? Like that's a problem right there. They didn't, they were hanging in there with the Patriots, and then one thing didn't go their way, and then they pouted, and then all of a sudden it was like a 45-0 run in the last 90 seconds of the game. Unbelievable. Yesterday, same thing. They couldn't stop anybody. It was absolutely ridiculous. 518-1410. Who's up, Kev?
We got Tennessee Jeff. Want to talk some Buckeyes.
Tennessee Jeff, give me 3 more minutes. We'll switch gears to Ohio State coming up in just a few moments. But I'm over the Browns. Over the Browns right now. I'm not jumping ship. I'm just being critical. Bengals fans, you should try it sometime. Instead of celebrating 5-4, you should be saying, man, we should be a lot better than what we are. And I still don't think we're that good right now. But no, 5-4. How about the best quarterback out of that 2020 draft class? How about Tua? He beat the Browns. In fact, 2 quarterbacks from that 2020 draft class beat the Browns this year. Justin Herbert and Mr. Tua. See? It's not that hard. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be partly cloudy, a high near 42. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy, a low near 28. And tomorrow is going to be cloudy with a chance of rain and snow, a high near 42. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer. If you've been waiting to buy, now is the time. 2022 Honda Pilots with financing as low as 1.9%, 2022 Honda Passports and 2023 Ridgelines with financing as low as 2.9%, and all in stock for immediate delivery. We will save you money today. See me, Sales Manager Jason High, for all the details. We're located Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek. The right car, the right price, the right way. I hope to see you soon.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation and discreet shipping if prescribed. You'll love your results. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your daily commute. You could do it alone. The downside is spending thousands each year on gas, parking, and vehicle maintenance, not to mention the air pollution you're causing. There is a smarter way. Introducing GoHio Commute. What is GoHio Commute? It's a free service with info on commuting options like ride matching for carpoolers, van poolers, and bike poolers, and links to local public transit providers. Go to MiamiValleyRideshare.org or call 223-SAVE for details. GoHio Commute, a smarter way.
Buckeye football season is back. That means tailgating and parties for the big game. You need the Lee's famous recipe Buckeye Bucket. It comes with 25 pieces of the delicious jumbo breast strips for only $44.99. Of course, you can add a few of their famous country side items, buttermilk biscuits, gallons of fresh brewed Lee's iced tea, or lemonade. You have the perfect recipe for a tailgate or watch party. Cheer on the Buckeyes this weekend with a Buckeye Bucket. Order today.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. 1410 ESPN Radio, along with 92.9 Jack FM and 101.5 Hank FM, our sister stations here under the Alpha Media umbrella. We are all teaming up with the Good Neighbor House coming up this weekend for our holiday help out food drive. And this is something that started with another sister station of ours in 92.1 WROU and, of course, Kev Station Hot 102.9. Holiday help out that started out in Trotwood at the Trotwood Firehouse. We are now expanding it, and they'll be live out Hot 102.9 WROU. Kev Nash will be live at Trotwood. I know your hours are all over. You're all over. But
I'll be doing my show on Hot from out there at the Firehouse on Little Richmond Road, Firehouse 72, from 10 to 2 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So a busy weekend. You'll be there with your radio stations, of course. I'll be with Hank, 101.5 Hank FM, ESPN, and 92.9 Jack FM. Excited about this. Our first year, we're going to be over at Washington Township Rec Center in the Woodland Lights. And we're going to be, of course, accepting collections and donations starting at 5 p.m. on Friday all the way to 9 p.m. And then donations from 10 a.m. on Saturday to 9 p.m. and then 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday. This is something that we're really excited about because everything that we are doing, all the food that we collect is going to be packaged up and given right back to the community, to families in need this holiday season. It is insane to me that we are already the next week. Thanksgiving is next week. And it's, I'm talking with my mom and family members earlier, like trying to arrange, like, what's the plan for Thanksgiving? There are some who are struggling to have a Thanksgiving this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, we're really excited about this opportunity to all come together. So we need you guys' help. Again, Kev, Little Richmond Road over in Trotwood is where you will be with your radio stations. And then Washington Township Rec Center, of course, with the Woodland Lights, which is pretty exciting again. So again, we'll be out there. I'm going to be doing the show Friday, then heading out there for the entire night. Hoping to see you guys out there. Come out, bring a donation, of course, and then same thing Saturday and Sunday. Busy weekend, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. We're looking for those non-perishable food items. And if you want to just make a monetary donation, we'll accept those too. All that money obviously goes to the Good Neighbor House. So we have a QR code out there on site if you want to make a monetary donation.
Yes. So we'll have more information. We'll just continue to be kind of pounded that throughout the week, but just be thinking ahead, here on a Monday, have quite a few days here to kind of get that, organized, but excited, hoping to see some of you. Not all of you, just some of you.
I'm not above, joining you for your top 10 listener list on this one. I'm not above it. Shaw, you come out to all our other events. Will you be at the holiday help out?
Yeah, and you got to bring something, Sean.
Yeah, not just show up for the Woodland Lights. I mean, bring some non-perishable food items. Bring some money for the monetary donation. You know what I'm saying? I'll participate in your top 10 list.
So if that Nash's top 10?
Yeah, if you're willing to give back to the community. If we want to see you in the building, man, want to see you come on out, man. It's going to be a good time. And
you're a way better person than I put people in my top 10 because they buy me drinks and stuff. You're like, oh, give back to charity. You'll be in my top 10.
Yeah, man.
The reason you're better.
And it's a good time out there as well. Look, man, we're out there basically for hours on end, but we make it a real good time for everybody that comes out. We try to hang out, joke around as we always do. But, for a serious situation like this with the holidays and some people not having food on their table, we always want to try to do our part and make it that everybody has something. And then when you're coming out to bring something out, you get to hang out with us. We get to joke around, talk some sports and everything like that. We can talk about Kenner together if you like.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. No, excited about that. Again, Woodland Lights, Washington Township Rec Center, this coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 5 to 9 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday, and then 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday. All right, we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. We talked some NFL already. Just whatever. The Bengals come back this weekend, and we'll see what they do coming out of the bye week. We'll get to them in a moment. They're getting healthier. No, Jamar Chase for this week, but it sounds like he might be back a little sooner than some had anticipated. So that's kind of key for a team that's at 5-4, 0-3 in the division. They need him because they have the brunt of their schedule coming up. They're 5-4 through the weak part of their schedule. Now they're shorthanded, although they're getting some guys back, but they're going to need everyone healthy as can be heading into that stretch. But we'll get back into that coming up around the corner. Boring weekend in college football, and sometimes that is a necessary thing. I mean, what I mean by boring, good football games, don't get me wrong, but as chaotic as last weekend was, I mean, there were so many things that happened in college football last week that it was very hard to kind of keep up with how we thought things were going to shake out. Eventually, we pieced it all together. We kind of had an idea of what teams would be in the mix, but a very, uneventful week. The most, not really exciting, but the biggest playoff, game that were the biggest game that will have an impact on the playoff that happened this past weekend, Oregon losing to Washington. I say that's the biggest impact on the playoff because once again, Oregon, fraud. All right. They are a fraud program. I'm so sick of Oregon every year. Every year, they get us every year. Every year. Oh, look out for Oregon. Look out for Oregon. Look out for Oregon. Why? Why are we looking out for Oregon? What jersey they're going to break out next? My goodness. The only other fan base that gets excited about jerseys is Dayton. I mean, my goodness, like Oregon. Oh, my gosh, what are we going to wear this week? Well, it doesn't matter because you're not in the playoff conversation anymore because once again, you stub your toe. They choke every year. And this is like their, fourth different coach that they've had in the last 7 years. They're a fraud of a program. I'm done with them. And the Pac-12, let's expand the playoff because I want our programs to still be able to suck and lose games and still have a chance to make the playoffs every year. Keep it at 4 for fraud programs like that. Michigan dominated. Ohio State did what we expected them to do last week. But they came out, they won, maybe lost, though. That Mayan Williams thing, they can't catch a break. The Buckeyes can't catch a break. But this is like what we're talking about, the situation with Ohio State losing Mayan Williams. But you have TreVeyon Henderson. You lose TreVeyon Henderson, you have Mayan Williams. Now we might be a little shorthanded. But like the depth of Ohio State. The big thing with Maryland, and I haven't even checked to see what that line is. Obviously, Ohio State, they're going to be slightly favored, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, being a smart ass there a little bit. But the point is,
they got shut out by Penn State this week, too.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things where Ohio State, they're going to take care of business against them this week. But this week is about prepping for Maryland, not overlooking Maryland, but getting healthy at the same time. I think that's going to be very important for Ohio State. But kind of a down week in college football. I think Oregon losing was the most not exciting, but again, impactful game, if you will, on the playoff. We'll see what happens.
For me, obviously, Oregon losing at home to Washington, that basically knocked them out. At least for their sake, Washington was a ranked team. But the biggest one and the biggest disappointment for me was UCLA losing at home to Arizona. I was up late watching that game because I expected it to be a blowout, but it was a blowout in the other way. Arizona was up big in the first half, and UCLA came storming back. So I was up to like 2:00 in the morning watching that game on Saturday and watched them ultimately lose. So now, we talked about this last week, that it always works itself out, and it's slowly but surely working itself out. Now, the only team out there in the Pac-12 that realistically has a chance is USC. And now that TCU has beaten Texas, they're still in the mix. So these things are starting to work themselves out. And this is exactly what you want. As for me, I'm a little bit different about the Pac-12 or Oregon situation. This is what I want. I want these teams that, like a Washington, that technically is out of the playoff talk, to still give effort and still come in there. It's like, hey, man, I don't care that they're got a pathway to the playoff. We want to beat them. So that creates more compelling games without expanding the playoff and everything like that. So kudos to the teams out there that continue to go in and play ball and also go into the other people's houses and win. They didn't get this. Washington didn't get this night game at home and all their rowdy fans, and this is going to make their season. They went into Oregon's house and won. Arizona went to UCLA to the Rose Bowl and won those games. So Pac-12, you want a representative, you better hope USC handles business the rest of the way, and you might be wanting TCU to lose a game because what they did defensively to Texas on Saturday night was pretty impressive. Texas offensively scored 3 points. Their only touchdown was a scoop and score. So props to TCU for getting it done. It's not over for them yet. They still got to win 3 more games before they can actually punch their ticket to the playoff.
TCU, please lose. I'm not joking. The committee's rooting against them too. The committee should have never put him at 4. You screwed yourself by putting him at 4 because you can't take him out of 4. they're a 3-point favorite against a 4-loss team this coming up weekend. Like we got it. Like Vegas is telling us we can hype it up and say they're undefeated and they're this and they're that. They're undefeated, but they're
they beat Texas though. They beat Texas. That was a banner win for Bama when they beat them by a point with a backup quarterback. They beat Texas at Texas with their starting quarterback the entire game.
You mean back when Texas was still trying and playing?
No, they're trying. Oh, they were trying.
What? Trying what?
They were out there.
I mean, look, bottom line is, by the way, now Texas is a big win. All the people that have been trying to water down. Texas wasn't a big win for Alabama. Now it's a big win for TCU. The movement of the goalpost.
It's a like opponent.
The goalpost is as weak for you guys as it is at Tennessee. They just move all over the place. But,
they beat a like opponent.
But yeah, TCU a 4-point favorite on the road at Baylor. So there's that. All right, Michigan is 17.5-point favorite at home as they welcome in Illinois. That's an interesting line. Look, you know what I mean? Like Michigan wins, but better not stub their toe. Michigan, you have one job, and that's to be undefeated so that we can ruin your lives here in a week.
That game is going to be over in 3 hours, the way those teams run the football.
3 hours of no one watching. My goodness, what a horrible game. Actually, Illinois is number 21 in the country, whatever that means. But,
not no more. They lost back-to-back games.
So we'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, so 7-4. I mean, hey, TCU, my God, I mean, they beat a 4-loss team. That's a great win. Michigan, they'll beat a 4-loss team, and it's like, it's just Illinois. Unbelievable. 518-1410, Ohio State takes care of business over Indiana. We're not really breaking down the game against Indiana because the only thing of significance that happened is, well, there was no wind, for one. And the second thing of significance was, well, the great performance by Mayan Williams, but unfortunately he was carted off. Now, I have not come across anything as far as any update of what to expect.
Nor have I.
Position. Ohio State, what makes them great is they have depth everywhere, but at some point there is a line of, no return. Like, can't expect, I know Ohio State, everyone that they have, you're elite. Every player on that roster is elite. But are they game elite? Are they game ready? That's going to be the big question. And between Pryor and everyone that's just been hit all season long, this isn't a team that has a lot of warriors left behind that, in that running back room. So as far as game ready guys,
right.
We're about to find out.
I mean, you're not expected to be trying to roll out your third string running back to be a starter. I mean, there's a third stringer for a reason. I mean, they had to bring Xavier Johnson in there to play a little bit of running back last week as well. I mean, everybody knows Xavier Johnson's story by now. He's a former walk-on, former defensive back, wide receiver, running back. Like, he's like a jack of all trades, but like, you don't want him playing the number one running back next week versus that team up north. Because, I mean, he's not a running back by trait. He's a wide receiver now, So, I mean, we just don't know. They're super banged up at the running back spot.
What's
and
Steel Chambers doing?
Playing linebacker now.
But seriously, what's Steel Chambers doing this week? And I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
I'm not joking. Shoot, remember when they moved Zach Bourne to linebacker?
Yeah.
Hey, do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do.
If you need to get Steel Chambers back, then get Steel Chambers back there. I don't really get it, but it's such a that's a cooler name for a linebacker.
Yeah.
It's just a cool name in general for a football player. I mean, let's be real. But anyways, 518-1410, Tennessee Jeff, thank you for being patient, my friend. How are you today?
Great. I enjoyed that call in there, Paul. Hey, welcome in my book to the absolute, without a shadow of a freaking doubt, longest week of the entire calendar year between now and Sunday. I'm going to D.C. on Wednesday, and I'm just gonna, I'll be. It's a different kind of year because our seasons. Let me back up. All due respect, Paul. Again, we all know how big this game looms in 12 days, but if we want a little more than one win per season, Keith Byers will not be happy. Now, when I was in Ann Arbor last year, I'm gonna listen. You guys are professionals. You do this for a living. You watch sports so you can talk and know what you're talking about. Sound good doing it on the weekend, and you both do, by the way. So when Justin says I'm jumping or whatever the word, I don't know if I didn't hear what you said. But he's not jumping. Let me tell you what he's doing. I compare it to when I was in Ann Arbor, and I got goosebumps saying this, when we pulled within 8 last year. I'm with my friend Kelly. I said, let's go. Well, what do you mean, let's go? We're one score. There's 7 minutes and 32 seconds. I said, Kelly, trust me when I tell you this. We haven't stopped them all game. On the way to the car, you're going to hear a loud eruption as far as noise. And I knew they would score again. I'm like, oh, my God, Jeff. I'm like, Kelly, it's been over since halftime. It's not a game. They willed the fans willed that team to victory. I knew what was coming, and I'll be, you know what, on the way to the car, if I didn't, they went nuts again. We just couldn't stop them. So, a spade, right, bro? Like, when you see it, I'm not a huge NFL guy. I'm watching, I'm from Canton, Ohio. So the Browns are not winning 8 in a row. I don't follow them like you guys do, but I could just compare it to that. I'm like, it's not happening. It's just not happening. 12 days from now, we play, and this will be my 40th Michigan game. I'm 54 years old. This is my 40th coming up on Saturday, a week from Saturday.
Nice.
Here's and I don't remember.
40th as like there, right? Like going to the game, like being live and in person.
That's it. My first 12 years, I got dragged by my folks, but in a big RV while they all drank vodka and tonic, and I'm in the bathroom checking out, little honeys walking down the road over on Lane Avenue. But 40th. So here's what's at stake, right? I talk to Pantoni all the time, and he just won't bite. I'll start talking about the game, and whoever we're playing this week, whatever I tell him and Quinn both, it's beat Maryland. So that's good, because I'm not a coach. My job as a fanatic fan is to look ahead. That's what we do, right? Yep. Here's what's at stake Saturday, and I'm not exaggerating. And I don't know if either of you agree with what I'm about to say on one of the points. The Heisman Trophy will abso-freaking-lutely depend on this game. It lies on this game. If Michigan wins and Corum runs, like Bianca Batuka did for 2 and change or 1, and they just dominate us, he will win the Heisman, period. If C.J. Stroud throws it all over the yard and he goes for 250 or whatever, and we beat this, whoever wins this game a week from Saturday, Corum or Stroud, I promise you, mark it down, will win the Heisman Trophy. The Big Ten, the Big Ten East, that's a given, and the Big Ten Championship and the national. I believe either of these two teams, because Michigan is good, man. They got a great offensive line. The running game is really legit. We're going to find out how good they are, though. The winner of this game wins the title, wins the whole title, wins everything, because the two big dogs are out. Either of these two teams can beat Georgia or anybody else on the field, period. Either of these two teams can beat them. What else was I going to say? So I guess that's it. What do you guys think? You guys have an early feel for the game as far as the Michigan game. You guys, here's my last thing, and I'll hang up unless you want me to answer something else. But
hey,
here's what we got to do.
Jeff, relax. I made you wait for a while. Just relax. Calm down. Get everything you need out. We're here to have a conversation. All good, man. All good. I promise. We're good. But real quick, finish your question.
If we take Corum out of the game early, and I believe if we win the coin toss, we take the ball. I believe if they win the coin toss, they'll defer. I want the ball first against this team. I want to score and score quick. No Joe Klatt. We're not looking at the freaking forecast. We got a slew of running backs, including Hayden, which is good. Henderson, like Kev says, is he going to be available? Mayan Williams, in his tweet after the Penn State game, said, "I'm all good, Buckeye Nation. I'm all good." Sunday this week it was, "We're all good." I don't think he's coming. I don't know. Day just doesn't say. He don't say that. We don't know. We don't have a clue. He couldn't play in pressure. He was on a boot and crutches. I have no idea. So
they're weird with injuries. I'm sure every school is the same as Ohio State with this, but I just feel.
But we don't follow every school.
We don't follow every school, but I feel like Ryan Day and Ohio State has been very weird with this, and I always preface it with this because people think I'm attacking Ryan Day with it. They don't owe me anything. They don't owe us anything outside of what they can tell us.
Man.
So, but when you don't tell us what's going on, you leave the door open for us to fill the gaps. It seems weird. I got crushed back in week 3 or whatever it was after the Toledo game. I said, we will not see Jackson Smith and Jigba the rest of the season. And I think for maybe one half or one play, one play catch 7 yards. He's not coming back in the running back situation.
And he's not coming back for Michigan game. Stop. He's not coming back November 26th. His agent's got in his ear. Dude's done. He will never, ever play another slap in Columbus again, ever. He's done. Correct. You nailed it, bro.
So, and by the way, and people thought I was attacking him for that. I'm not necessarily doing that either. I'm just pointing out that the days are different now. But the Mayan Williams thing, what do you think about that? Like, did I hear you wrong? And you think that he's done too? He's not playing this coming up week?
Oh, he's definitely not playing against Maryland. He could see. I watch these things, and I watch where they go and into the tent, and I watch them closely, and he tried, dude. He tried to put pressure on that foot, and he just couldn't. He tried. He kept trying. He just couldn't do it. If it's a high ankle,
what about Trevion? What's going on with Trevion?
Dude, I don't know. They're saying it's a nagging injury. He'll play Saturday against Maryland. Listen, we need one of them. We got to have if we can have Henderson and Hayden both in against Michigan. We're going to be. Listen, they're not coming to Columbus. I promise you, they're not coming again. They really, really think they're coming, and they're just going to whip us up again like they did last year, and they're going to out-physical us. There's no way in hell they beat us in Columbus. I'm telling you, they're not beating. We just got to have something that resembles a running game. But if we got to throw it 65 times against them, so be it. Jump on them early, get a 2-score lead, take Corum out, because J.J. McCarthy loaded the box. He ain't beating us. They're not. He's average, dude. He's very average. Corum is the best back in the country, period. Better than any back we got. He's phenomenal. This game determines everything. Love you guys. Go Bucks.
Oh, wait.
Take care, man. Appreciate the call. One of the most passionate Buckeye fans I know.
I'm ready, but I can't overlook this game.
Why? What are you trying? So what are you trying to say?
I'm ready.
Is what could Maryland almost be considered?
This is a trap game.
It's the same scenario as the last time.
It is not.
Oh,
this is a trap
American
game.
Idol.
This is a trap game for sure.
The last
1,000,000%. You
what
know
was
what?
the game that we argued about anyways?
See, that proves it wasn't a trap game.
No, it was because the team was crap, so that's why we don't remember. And I think the team that ended up being yeah. By the way, that wasn't that was the exact definition of a trap game. Yes, it was. You went to it. You went to the boring ass trap game.
The good thing is not only do we have a trap game versus Maryland, but so does the team up north. They have a trap game as well.
No, I think they have to pay more attention to their opponent than we do ours. I don't. That's a top 25 team at least until tomorrow night, as of right now. Then after tomorrow night, then you don't have to pay attention to them anymore.
Michigan's gonna smoke them.
They're 17.5-point favorite. If Ohio State was a 17.5-point favorite over a 4-loss team, I'd have a problem with that. But then again, they could barely beat Northwestern. So
Michigan by 24. Illinois would be lucky to score 13 points.
My goodness.
They'll be lucky if they score 13 points at first. Michigan this Saturday. Michigan's going to run the ball, run it down their throat, and it's going to be over in like 3 hours.
Man. So, by the way, hasn't happened yet, but looks like I was right about old Jackson Smith and Jigba. I was called every name in the book when I said he ain't got to play the rest of the year. Oh, stop. No. Just like last year when y'all got mad at me when I said Quinn Ewers will never play for Ohio State, and then y'all try to nitpick it and say, well, he took a few snaps here that, on mop-up duty. But yeah. See, Kenner knows what he's talking about every once in a while. He taught Kev what a trap game is. I mean, every once in a while, take notes.
Play that one sounder where you got 4 things.
I got to find some busy board over here. John Slayton's, by the way, goes Steel Chambers earlier. I said, hey, get Steel Chambers behind there if you have to.
Second best linebacker on the team.
Because he had some serious fumbling issues. Part of the reason he was moved to linebacker. So.
Or we didn't have any linebackers.
I was going to say. Oh, my gosh. All right. 518-1410. We'll continue talking college football coming up here on the other side of the break. But TCU. What did Shaw's comment? He said I did something. I was proving something. Man, hold on. He said something I was proving about it being a beauty contest or something dumb as usual. I can't remember what he said. I got to go back and find the tweet. But nonetheless, he goes, Kenner is proving it's a beauty contest. First of all, no one's proving anything. We know it's a beauty contest. Style points. You have to have style points. You have to beat the right amount of teams, the right kind of teams, and you have to beat the right kind of teams in a certain kind of fashion to get the benefit of the doubt versus others. TCU hasn't done that, but they're there at 4. And it's cute. The committee is relying on the whole everything will take care of itself, but I think now, certain point, they win this weekend, Kev. They beat Baylor. Baylor's 4-loss team, I get that, but Baylor's still a team I look at that's capable of beating them. My goodness. They beat Baylor? I think the playoffs in trouble. TCU is going to be a bid stealer. Really? What I mean by that is they're going to steal a bid from a team that people actually want to watch. And I'm not wrong in that. Like, nobody wants to watch TCU in the playoffs.
The only bid stealer out there is LSU.
I don't think so. I think USC. By the way, I get it. TCU is not technically a bid stealer because they'd be undefeated Big 12 champions. I mean, they're in at that point, right? But my point is, they're a stealer of a spot for a team that people would actually.
You like name brands. Just say it.
Who doesn't?
You
Who
just
goes
say
into
it.
A season
I really say everything else besides I want name brands in there. I don't care that you've done everything that you were supposed to do. If it was Oklahoma, you would not be saying this. If it was Texas, you wouldn't be saying this.
Nobody would be saying that.
I'm just saying.
Yes, of course. No one
just
cares.
say it.
I said TCU is
say it. No, say it. Justin Kenner, I'm an elitist.
Yes, I'm an elitist when it comes to college football.
Say, I want you to say those words. My name is Justin Kenner, and I'm an elitist.
First of all, political season,
No, it's here forever.
Second of all, yeah, no kidding. Stick to sports. No one is clamoring for TCU, Georgia in the first round of the playoff. Nobody. Outside of, what are they called? The horny frogs or whatever. What are they?
Horn frogs, baby.
Oh, they're not horny? Okay, not horny frogs, whatever they are.
Horny fighting frogs. Andy Daltons.
Oh, geez. There you go. Yep. There you go. That's their problem right there. Yeah, they're 10-0. They're going to make the playoff if they win out. But my goodness, nobody is clamoring for TCU. Hey, let's put them at the 3 spot. Can you imagine Ohio State fans? I mean, that's a good thing because it's a guaranteed spot in the national championship if that's the case. But my Ohio State, TCU. Thank God we get excited to watch our teams play Northwestern and some of these other garbage teams that we don't care about. Luckily, we're good. But, no, man, that rating would be bad. That rating will be horrible. TCU against anybody. That will be bad. Holy moly. I'll take 2-loss LSU in the playoff over them. Undefeated and all. You can't do that. I mean, LSU's right there at number 6. Probably going to move up. Oof. We'll be right back. Horned frogs. Give me a break.
Say it.
They're a charity case.
No.
Every year
say say.
I'm an elitist when it comes to college football.
No. I want you to put your name on it. Put your government name on it so we can have it forever.
Aye. My name is Justin Kinnery.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Get ready, Ohio. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to the Buckeyes State. And to kick things off, you can get started with $100 in free bets as an early sign-up bonus. Plus, when you sign up today, use my promo code Kinner, Kinner. Then you will be all set for when FanDuel goes live in Ohio. Then you can bet on all of your favorite teams and all of your favorite sports with $100 in free bets. I think that's pretty cool. All you got to do is download the app. When you register, you use my promo code Kinner, my last name, Kinner. And then you're going to have $100 in free bets waiting for you in your account when sports betting goes live here in the state of Ohio. Just download FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. It is safe, it is secure, and it is super easy to use. Come on, Dayton. This is your chance to get in on the action. Use my promo code Kinner when registering your account today, Kinner. Have $100 in free bets waiting for you. Come on, it's a heck of a deal. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
At the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission, we help veterans and their dependents navigate the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA. We can assist with VA claims, pensions, and a variety of benefits, including emergency financial assistance, transportation, and legal services. If you are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, a wide range of services may be available to you, always at no cost to the veteran. We are honored and proud to serve all Miami Valley veterans. Contact us today at 937-225-4801.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton.
The law offices of Blake Maceland will fight for you. Call 444-4444. Want more fight? More attention? More compensation? We've recovered millions in auto and injury cases. We don't know what your case is worth until you call. One more call for 444-4444. Call Blake Maceland.
Need money for after-school and educational programs for your child? Qualifying families can receive $500 per child through Ohio's after-school child enrichment accounts. Funds received by a parent or guardian can be used on a number of educational activities, including tutoring, day camps and field trips, language and music lessons, and much more. You can find the full list of how funds can be spent and begin the process of receiving your educational account. Find out if your family qualifies by visiting aceohio.org today.
Sponsored by the Ohio Department of Education, aired by OAB and this station.
Make the big game sound even bigger with your new TV and sound system from Audio Etc. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom today and experience 8K TVs and projectors, short throw projectors from 100-inch to 130-inch, all the way to your high-end dream system. Audio Etc has tons of new inventory in stock, while everybody else is back-ordered or out of stock. Get special deals on a TV and your dream system today. Audio Etc can bring any big game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. If you can't afford your dream system, check out our huge selection of vintage and pre-owned components. Audio Etc, powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SBS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. 551 Congress Park Drive in Centerville.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
This is Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
This is American Education Week, a time to celebrate the power of our neighborhood public schools to change lives and empower students to realize their potential. It's also a time to celebrate the educators who make our public schools great. To Ohio's teachers, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, professors, paraprofessionals, school secretaries, nurses, librarians, and more, we say thank you.
Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Body Shop Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. Our technicians have over 125 years of total experience. That means we can repair your vehicle correctly and efficiently. So when you need a dependable body shop, we're here. And we repair all makes and models with new state-of-the-art equipment to get you back on the road quickly. Plus, we offer loaner cars during service and free estimates. Stop by and see us. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, State Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here, excuse me, on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 The Wing AM. So the AP top 25 came out. Georgia remains at 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4. Obviously similar to the playoff poll. So nothing, whatever. Is what it is. Big weekend coming up, though, as far as games, just to kind of set up with the rivalry weekend games. Of course, that team up north in Ohio State coming up. We're excited about that. I love and hate at the same time. It means the season's done.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate that, but I love that matchup. Finally, for the first time in a long time, it took Michigan winning last year, but now there's just that, kind of puts that little urgency back in that rivalry. Look, that win was not a good thing by any means, but, for me, my interest level as of last year, I mocked anyone out there that tried to convince me that rivalry was the biggest in sports. Michigan, whether it was Ohio State being too good or Michigan just sucking it up all the time, one of the two is to blame for why that rivalry went away. But I think the rivalry is back because it's worth the damn. Everyone out there that just likes to regurgitate, well, everyone just says the biggest rivalry in sports. It's not a big rivalry around the country whenever Michigan is as bad as what they've been for a while. But them being in the playoff picture matters. That's what, when Ohio State and Michigan are playing for something other than my favorite, bragging rights. I don't care about bragging rights. I want something on the line. If Michigan wins it, they took a playoff spot from Ohio State last year. They took a Big Ten championship from Ohio State last year. That was, there was something on the line. This year, it's for all the marbles. Maybe the loser gets in, maybe not. But the only way you can control your destiny is to win a week from Saturday. So it means something. They're playing for something. I don't know, man. I talked about this with Byers on yesterday's show. Ohio State's not going to reach number one. They're number two, right? And if Michigan, let's say Michigan loses on a week from Saturday, Michigan probably be 4. But if TCU, and TCU is 4 and Michigan's right there, Kev, then you could almost do that the committee could justify forcing a semifinal Ohio State-Michigan matchup, right?
I don't think so. I think this is an eliminator game. If everything stands as pat as if Georgia plays LSU in the SEC championship game, they stay at 1. The winner of this Ohio State-Michigan game next week is an eliminator game. And obviously, if they go on to win a Big Ten championship, they stay at number 2. And I think that ultimately Tennessee will be in the 3 spot.
You don't think how they lose matters? Ohio State wins 31-28. That's Michigan's only loss. Losing that game, it's not a good thing, by the way, but the only thing that it does is it prevents you from having to play the next week. Now, some say that's a disadvantage, but that, it's one less week that you have to lose.
It's going to be a full advantage for Tennessee.
So your full resume is, Michigan and Tennessee become the same at that point. Tennessee's top win all of a sudden doesn't look as much of a top win now that they've lost for the second time, talking about Alabama at this point. Michigan, if their only blemish is a 3-point loss to Ohio State, let's just say it's that close, I think that they could get in. I mean, look, there's so many other scenarios out there. USC is going to be a factor in this. They could be a 1-loss. We're good. I got it. They could be a 1-loss Pac-12 champion. And then it comes down to 1-loss Pac-12 champion, 1-loss non-Big Ten champion. And Michigan, probably USC is going to get the nod because USC would have played top 25 Oregon, top 25 Notre Dame, and UCLA coming up. USC will get in over Michigan at that point.
Most likely they'll play Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. So that back half of their season was going to be flooded with ranked opponents.
Flooded with college football playoff ranked opponents.
Yeah.
It's better to have a back half loaded with what the committee, if you're beating the teams that the committee has told us matter, that's better than having to rely on, we beat number 5 Notre Dame. Well, not really.
That was the AP number 5.
So beating, even if it's the college football playoff, I don't have the playoffs don't come out tomorrow night, but you beat the number 18 team in that's stronger than beating the AP number 5, probably, as stupid as that sounds.
Well, if we're looking at it that way, if whatever Notre Dame is this upcoming week, say they're 18, 15 or whatever, that's still going to be a top win for Ohio State, but
better than what Michigan would have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt.
But I still mock that because Notre Dame lost to Marshall. We wouldn't, if Alabama's big win was Notre Dame who lost to Marshall, we would not allow them to claim that, but we're hypocrites as Buckeye fans, and that's okay. We live on that island. That's okay. But I like to point out, I'm not a homer, so there's that. By the way, Jay Book on Bucknuts, my gosh, he tweeted out yesterday. He tweeted out that Justin Fields is this decade's version of Michael Vick. What the heck? I know Buckeye fans, we're not used to seeing a quarterback that even looks close to being worth a damn in the NFL, but you could just tell our fan base doesn't know how to handle it. Michael Vick, that's what we're doing. He's had 3 good games in his NFL career, and he's Michael Vick now.
4 in a row. 4 in a row. He's still got some ways to go before he's elite level Michael Vick, and I think elite level Michael Vick was with that 2-year run that he had. I don't even want to say that. His best years were with Philly when he was coached by Andy Reid. Remember that not playoff game, but that Monday night game where he threw for 400 yards and ran for another 100, and it was all in the first half through that bomb to Deshaun Jackson. He had who was the wide receiver out of Mizzou? McLean, I think his name was. He was balling there. Regardless, he still got some ways to go before he's a top tier Michael Vick. But he was balling yesterday for sure.
I didn't mean to hijack. We can go back to the playoff thing, but it's just my ADD. It's getting later in the show, all that. But anyways.
Killing you on the boards.
I'm killing you on the boards. My goodness. 518-1410, 518-1410. Shaw says, thank you, Kev. Finally, let's just ask.
I'm a man of the people.
Shaw, what are we thanking Kev for? Thanking him for what?
Getting you to put it on film that you are an elitist.
Or I use common sense. Does anyone want to watch TCU out there? Raise your hands.
College football fans.
You want to watch TCU?
I want to watch the team that earns their spot.
My God, the do-gooder.
I want to watch the team who's undefeated, yes.
Woo, good for you. I mean, I want to watch good football, but that's fine. You guys watch that. You watch TCU. Go Horny Frogs.
But you just said if it was Oklahoma or Texas, you wouldn't have a problem.
If it was Oklahoma or Texas and they're undefeated, that means that we've seen undefeated Oklahoma and Texas and who they are when they are that. And by the way, if Oklahoma was only a 3-point favorite over a 4-loss team, I'd have a problem with that too.
I know you would.
Because that shows that Vegas says they're frauds too. So just saying,
Because
they're not
you think
frogs,
the Big
they're
12's
frauds.
overrated.
What?
Because you think the Big 12's overrated. You only think the Big 10 and the SEC are worth anything.
The Big 12 is ash. You know that, right? Like the Big 10 is not even very good either. You keep saying
why? Because
no, Big 10's
history
horrible,
tells you
dude. Big 10's bad. Michigan and Ohio
Big
State
10 is bad. The Big 10
Thank
is
you.
bad. You're
So
right.
don't say weird things.
The Big 12's not. The Big 12's not.
Big 12's not what?
The Big 12's not trash. Half the Big 12 would beat the Big 10.
Okay. And how many title contenders do they have? I mean, real ones, not, I've beat nobody 10 times in a row and we're in the conversation because of that. Title contenders.
TCU.
No, I said title contenders, dude.
TCU.
They're like literally a 1-possession favorite over a 4-loss team. What happens when they play the real teams in the playoff?
TCU.
They end up looking like your team from last year.
Oh, you mean like you guys did when you played Clemson 31-0?
Oh.
OH 31-0. You thought that was a bird. It wasn't. Like, I've acknowledged that, too. I bashed the Buckeyes when they did that.
Well, then don't throw my team getting their tail whipped. And
I am, because it's the only time you've been there. You were new money.
Oh, congratulations.
No, congratulations to you. I'm glad you finally got to
42-7,
experience that.
42-27.
You and the Bearcats were the feel-good stories last year.
42-27.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, my thoughts, and first off, let me
Can't wait to hear
the
these.
more important part. Yeah, let me get to the more important thing out here. My thoughts and prayers to everybody involved in the Virginia stuff.
100%.
Okay, yes, but you can't, in the middle of me being a jerk, you can't just totally hit the brake and go to something like that. And then I can't. Yes, you are 1,000,000% right. But don't you ever do that again in the middle of a back and forth stop and bring something serious like that up. Now I'm supposed to do this serious face like, yes, absolutely. That's hard to do. Don't do that to me again. We'll reset here. Because what you're talking about is not a laughing matter. It is very scary what happened, but you don't just slam on the brakes in the middle of a conversation like that and go to something serious like that. So reset. Let's take this serious, because what you're bringing up, yes, is a horrific thing that happened.
Hey, it scares the living everything to me that someone can just roll into that and do that. And I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. It was just something that's how I wanted to start my phone call, but everything went unraveling after that. But I don't know. I think it needs to get brought up. I mean, you got 3 football players that their careers are over now and they won't get to continue. And we're here a week before Thanksgiving. And yes, it's the week before Ohio State, Michigan, but there's bigger things out here and there's more important things in the world. And I don't know. I've spent enough time on it already, but there's other things. Go ahead.
No, and Shaw, thank you. But he's talking about 3 Virginia football players killed, an ex-player in custody. Very weird. Like I said, Shaw, I don't mind that you did this, but you don't just bring that up in the middle of a conversation back and forth, because now this sounds like an awkward transition. Don't do that again. But yes, this very weird to slide into this conversation, but what happened is horrific. This came out earlier today. A former University of Virginia football player suspected of killing 3 football players and wounding 2 other students on campus late Sunday night. He's in custody after a manhunt in Charlottesville, Virginia. Police confirmed earlier today. During a news conference today, University of Virginia President Jim Ryan said 3 Cavalier football players were shot and killed. And it's horrific. Again, a former football player in custody now. Obviously, just it's horrific. Horrible story. Now is not the time to go into that. But I wanted to at least elaborate on what he was kind of alluding to. But my goodness, like when you see that, yes, Thanksgiving is next week, or, yes, things are bigger than sports. But again, I'm just annoyed that was brought up here at this moment. There's better ways to transition into that. But that's horrible. I mean, anywhere we have, football, college basketball here in this city, college football all around us, basketball, college athletics. It doesn't have to be football for this to be horrendous. This is horrendous no matter what age level, whatever. But yes, that's horrible what had happened. And again, just hitting this type of situation, unreal.
Just shocking. You know, the news that you wake up to every morning. You go to sleep at night and you 9 times out of 10, you're the type of people that hit the buzzer on your TV to automatically shut off because you're always dozing off. And at least that's what happens to me. And then just like everybody else in the morning, you get up, start getting your day going, you check social media. And that was the first thing I saw this morning. And I just thought, like, really? Like, this is still going on, man. It's just so sad, man. It's just so sad. I mean, regardless of them being football players, a lot of these parents send their kids off to college, regardless of being athletes, just being students to, get an education and better their lives and, going to be productive citizens. And that's like the last place on earth that you expect a shooting to take place, man. So it's super sad. Thoughts and prayers to all their families.
All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Hour 3 coming up next.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Okay, can I have everybody's attention for just a second?
Morgan's media planning firm just landed a multi-million-dollar client.
Because we won the pitch.
She needs to staff up before trafficking hits a traffic jam.
So we're going to need research, planning, buying, obviously, and probably data analytics.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees and back? You know, joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love. It affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. Hey, it's Keith Byers. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for the coming week. QC Kinetics. Call 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Ohio, DraftKings Sportsbook is coming. To celebrate, all new customers will receive $200 in free bets. Plus, 5 lucky customers will win a $100,000 free bet. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you $200 in free bets just for signing up today. No deposit required. Plus, you'll be entered to win a $100,000 free bet when you sign up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up with code WING1410 to get $200 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Ohio. Plus, 5 customers will win a $100,000 free bet only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code WING1410. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. 21 and up. Physically present in Ohio. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regularity licensing requirements. 1 per customer. $200 issued as $825 free bets. No purchase necessary for sweepstakes. Void where prohibited. Ends first day. DraftKings is allowed to operate in Ohio. See terms at dkng.co/OH.
You want more local content from Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM? Make sure you subscribe to the WING 1410 Dayton YouTube channel, where you can watch all your local shows live or go back and rewatch previous episodes of The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, The Keith Byers Show, Talking Out Loud with Sully, and more.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, so head there and jump in on the conversation over there. Let's go to Packers fan Tim. Packers fan Tim, I'm assuming you're back to being a Packers fan this week, correct?
Hey, I'm always a Packers fan, man.
I don't know. You sounded like you were on the fence a week or two ago. I'm just
I was
saying.
joking around. You guys.
Oh, it's always a joke. I see. No, you're good.
I was being critical of the team. Hey, what I'm calling about is the Ohio State-Michigan game is definitely an elimination game. I mean, I don't care how close it is. They could go into triple overtime and somebody wins by a safety, by 2 points or something, or whatever you could do. And there's just no way that a one-loss loser of that game is going to get in ahead of a one-loss Georgia team. Let's say if LSU beats them, or a one-loss Tennessee team. I mean, if I was a committee, I'd have a 2-loss Bama team before I'd have, the loser of that game. Now, I think Ohio State's going to win. And if Ohio State, I mean, they'll have at least, even if they did lose, they could say, okay, we beat Notre Dame, who did lose those teams you talked about, Marshall and Stanford. But they did beat Clemson, who's, I think, number 8. They did beat North Carolina, who I think is now number 15 or something. And I think they're going to beat USC. Maybe not. But that would be helpful for Ohio State, not because Notre Dame was number 5, but because they should probably, they're number 20 now or something. They should crack it. They might get up to number 15, 16, 17, after tomorrow maybe. And if they beat USC, they might get up to number 15, 14, or 13 or something. But there's just no way Michigan, I mean, who's Michigan beating that? Penn State? Who's Penn State beating? Nobody.
Tim, I don't necessarily think it has anything to do with who Michigan is beating. I think it's when this loss is potentially going to happen for Ohio State or Michigan. When that actual loss happens is kind of like the last thing you have on your mind. And to Justin's point about how the game happens, like if either team is, loses by 14 points or something like that, everybody's gonna be like, well, they lost their last game and they lost by 14. But it's kind of like when they play, because these other teams that we're talking about that are still in the mix with one loss, like Tennessee, they lost in October and they're able to win more games down the back half of the season. So you can kind of like forgive those losses. This loss that's going to potentially happen for Michigan or Ohio State is the very last game of the regular season. So I think that shows them a lot more harm than actually who they played on their schedule.
We've seen Alabama, though, lose, or Georgia, or we've seen teams lose conference championships.
Georgia hasn't lost, but let's say Georgia loses in the Southeast Conference Championship game.
No,
So
Tim,
the very last game, they're still getting in.
I meant just as a counter to Kev's point about, like, he brought up like the when you lose, but we've seen teams lose the ACC or the SEC title game and still get in, like in some of those years. But I do think there's more.
Notre Dame lost the ACC championship game in the COVID year, and they made it.
But it's there's a lot other factors that go into that.
And I like Notre Dame, but they should not have got to, after losing to Clemson like that. Yeah, that was messed up.
So,
yeah.
But no, it's going to be like there's still a lot of chaos left. There's a lot of crazy scenarios. But, knowing the committee and how they get bailed out every year, USC will lose. So the Pac-12 will be completely eliminated. TCU will lose. So the Big 12 will be eliminated. And then it's just going to be simple. They'll just put Tennessee and Georgia and Ohio State to Michigan in, and then everybody wins.
Oh, no. Ohio State and Michigan it's going to be the winner of that game. Yeah, there's no way both those teams would be in the Final Four. There's just no way.
I mean, so how is that different, Tim, in your opinion, than when we see Georgia and Alabama make it in some years?
Because I could say, well, man, Georgia beat Tennessee, didn't they? So they lost to LSU. I'm saying, so you could go through. Those teams are also good, and them beating up each other. Tennessee, Ole Miss, Bama, Georgia, LSU. If LSU beats Georgia, and Georgia's got that one loss, and they got it on the very last day, and there's no chance for you. I would put them in ahead of Michigan with one loss, or even Ohio State. And I want Ohio. I'm rooting for Ohio State to win everything. But Georgia can say, "Hey, we beat Tennessee. We beat these other teams." I mean, who's Michigan to say if they lose to Ohio State? Who can they say they beat?
Yeah, I think how they lose too matters. No, you're right, Tim. I mean, the Penn State, whatever. Penn State's going to be top 10 though, so that's going to help a little.
Goes into the Big Ten championship. Yep, we beat 7-4 Illinois. Woohoo! I'm just saying the Big Ten is just not that good. And the committee is going to look at who all these teams have played. And Georgia can say, "Yep, yeah, we lost to LSU, but we beat Tennessee. We beat these other teams." So, yeah, there's no – this is definitely an elimination game under any circumstances. I just don't see any way for the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game to, make that Final Four. So when you guys are talking about that, well, I got to call in. We'll talk about the Packers and what they did yesterday. Oh, hey, for Bengal fans, Christian Watson did something that hasn't been done since Jamar Chase.
Caught
Rookie,
the ball,
getting 3 touchdowns, and what I know after he dropped the first 2 passes is like, what? That he catches 3, man. So I'll tell you what, they're going to handle business against Tennessee Thursday night, and then they're going to go down to Philadelphia. Win these 3 games.
Tim got his mojo back.
The pack is back. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they got to stay healthy and stuff, man. They got to get, their running game was great, but, they had the ball. We just run all over them. CeeDee Lamb had 150 yards receiving or something. The Packers still got a lot of work to do, but I can see it happening, man. This dude, he's just faster than other people. He's bigger than Jamar Chase. He's 6'4". He's taller. I mean, he's stronger, and he's faster than Jamar Chase. He's just not as polished. Playing at LSU prepares you for the NFL. Playing at North Dakota State, or is it North Dakota State?
You're saying he's better than Jamar Chase?
He will be. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's taller. He's faster.
Nice.
He's not as polished, man.
Tim stirring
I was rooting for the Packers to get Chris Olave because they, I wanted somebody that's polished. I mean, those guys are playing against other NFL players. Christian Watson wasn't, and also Romeo Doubs, who's had a great rookie year. He's hurt now, but I mean, I thought, man, he's so much far ahead of Devontae Adams. But I don't want to talk Packers stuff. I just want to get my take on the Ohio State Michigan. This is an elimination game, and the Bucs have got to eliminate Michigan. All right, guys, thanks.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Packers fan Tim.
Packers fan Tim with the hot take of the wide receiver being better than Jamar Chase. I mean, that's no way to talk about the second best wide receiver on that LSU national championship team. And how about Justin Jefferson yesterday, by the way?
Outstanding.
I tweeted.
Shouts out to Kirk Cousins, because I bang on Kirk Cousins a lot.
It's my dude. Him
There,
and Garoppolo, they're my guys I always defend the most.
well,
Jimmy G beat Justin Herbert, the best quarterback,
the 49ers,
the second best quarterback in the
49ers
class.
beat the Chargers.
Why is it when no?
It isn't no. That is other people. I always say the team.
The team.
Always.
That
It is a
logo of
team.
the team.
For $1 American, without cheating, Justin Kenner, who is the first place team in the Big Ten West. $1 American.
Hold on. The Big Ten West.
10.
Illinois.
9. Wrong.
Who is it?
Purdue. Our Purdue Boilermakers, who we said were going to make the Big Ten championship. They still got 2 games. Who they got? They got to play. Come on. You know, the internet in this building is so awesome.
Oh, ring the bell. You don't know what you're talking about. There you go.
Oh, come on, Rip. Oh, there it is. They got to play Northwestern this Saturday and then at Indiana to close out the regular season. So, barring a blunder, they will play in the Big Ten championship game, as we both predicted.
So, with that, yes, real quick though, back to the Kirk Cousins thing.
Yeah.
The Vikings have never seen, like, the Bengals are a very good organization. They keep finding great wide receivers. Like, they go from one to the next. Like, you know what I mean? They went from Chad Johnson. They went right from him to AJ Green, right to obviously Jamar Chase. But, you know, very good wide receivers, all-time greats within their organization, and very, very solid wide receiver. You know, AJ Green, a very, very good wide receiver. All-time great. I don't think AJ Green's an all-time great.
When I think of all-time great, I think of Hall of Famer. I don't think AJ Green.
Chad Johnson, yes.
No.
You don't put him up there?
No.
Jamar Chase may be on his way.
Maybe.
But,
I mean, rookie year was outstanding.
But the Vikings always seem to find these NFL all-time great, whether it was Chris Carter.
Oh, you were saying Cincinnati Bengal all-time great for AJ Green and Chad? Absolutely.
Hold on, let's reset here. I was about the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
It's talking about they're very good at finding really good wide receivers at that. I don't know about, you know, Chad Johnson, all-time great wide receiver.
All-time
no. Great. Okay, that's what yeah. But the Vikings, they seem to find that next level wide receiver of all-time great wide receivers. I think Justin Jefferson's well on his way to being that. He looks the part, and he's consistent. He's 3 years into the league. But I'm talking about the Vikings, who just always seem to find that not just all-time Vikings great wide receiver, but all-time great wide receiver level type guys. You went from Chris Carter right into Randy Moss, and now maybe not right in, but you see what I'm saying. Every decade, it seems they find someone like that. I was ripped by Bengals fans coming in saying that I think the Vikings have better weapons than the Bengals, or as good, and I think that is the case right now. But, you know, when Jamar Chase is rolling too, that dude's just as good. But Justin Jefferson, the Vikings, that was the best NFL game I can recall. Just the theatrics of everything, the reviews, the replays. He was down, you know, talking about Josh Allen too. I mean, unbelievable. What a game.
Great game. The
Vikings are 8-1.
Sitting pretty. You know, the thing that separates the Vikings offense from the Cincinnati Bengals offense on paper is Dalvin Cook. Like, as good as why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Alvin Kamara?
No, Cincinnati Bengals running back.
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, I'm sorry. 5 touchdowns last week. Finally came out of that slump that he was in. Joe Mixon can't do what Dalvin Cook could do. Dalvin Cook took an 80-yard run to the house.
Yep.
That does not happen in the NFL. Those are college and high school type of runs. A big run in the NFL is 20, 30 yards. He took it 80 yards, and that got them back in the game. Because the game, quote unquote, was over. Him popping that run to be able to score a touchdown in 20 seconds changes the game, because, oh man, now we're only down X amount of points as opposed to going on a drive that's going to eat up, 4 or 5 minutes on the clock. I just popped a big run like that. And he does that almost every third week. He's popping a 50 or 60-yard run. So that playmaking ability, that speed, that power that Dalvin Cook has is just really separates him from a lot of other running backs in the league.
Yeah, and the thing about the Bills, I mean, they have looking at this right now, as far as the Bills go, they're the number 7 defense against the run in the NFL. So watching him do that against one of the top defenses in the NFL, and the Buffalo Bills. Like, the Vikings are for real.
Yeah.
They coming in, one take that we both had that we shared, we were both on it on this one, is that they would be the best team in that division, and they are.
Yep.
I don't care that the Packers have Aaron Rodgers. Like, yes, the quarterback gap is wide between Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, but everything else the Vikings dominated on. That's been their biggest downfall the last 3 years, has been they've had historically bad defenses. Their defenses have not been able to match their offensive output. Now they're getting that same offensive output. Kirk Cousins, though, I will say, let me rephrase, it's not the same offensive output. He is playing the position, maybe not at an elite level. Like, he's not.
No, he
Patrick
is.
Mahomes.
He is playing very elite.
Saying you put him there?
Absolutely. He's playing very elite this year. He's making plays. He's not turning the ball over, and he's taking those risks now. Before, he was just like, all right, I'm going to throw it to the guy that's open type of guy. But now with a Justin Jefferson, obviously him making that crazy catch, it helps to have a guy like that, obviously, but you got to give Kirk Cousins a ton of credit because he's playing the best football of his career, hands down. And then they got TJ Hawkinson from the Lions. Now they have a tight end weapon. The Vikings look for real, man. And that's the whole thing about a Kirk Cousins. He can have one of those games where he throws 3-4 interceptions. He hasn't had one of those yet. And that's the scary part. If I'm a Vikings fan, like, all right, it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. I mean, shoot, it happens to the best quarterbacks. They all throw interceptions. It's just he seems to throw them in bunches, like on Monday Night Football or on Sunday Night Football when everybody's watching. So then, boom, like, see, I told you he was trash. And this game being the biggest game of the season, he wasn't having a good game until like the late third quarter, fourth quarter, where he stepped his game up. So if I'm a Vikings fan, hey man, why don't you go ahead and get that out of you before the playoffs and get back on your mojo. But like, they got confidence right now. He's playing some good football. Got to give him all credit.
Two quarterbacks that not a lot of people were giving a lot of credit to coming into the year that are playing at an MVP like level. Kirk Cousins is one. How about Tua Tagovailoa?
Yeah,
I watched it all day yesterday. I think Tua. I think he's a top 5 quarterback right now. The way he's playing, I think we need to see it for more than one season. Yes,
right.
But this is his breaking out year. He's done everything right. And I think it's very rich of Bengals fans to throw out, by the way, that, well, yeah, look at the weapons he has. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of funny how that excuse works when trying to discredit what other quarterbacks do. Tua, to me, everyone talks about Joe Burrow and taking the Bengals to the Super Bowl and all that. I'm not saying that it's, I would rather have Tua than Joe Burrow, but I also don't think that within probably the next month, I don't think that would be as hot a take as what people think it is right now, saying that I would take Tua over Joe Burrow. Tua right now, he doesn't turn the ball over.
Right.
He's not going to make the crazy throw. He doesn't turn the ball over. He gets it to his weapons on time, fast. We laughed at Tyreek Hill. Remember in the offseason? We did. He's the most accurate quarterback ever. Is he the most accurate quarterback in the NFL? No. Tua is more accurate than we gave him credit for coming out of the draft even. And even after those first couple of years in the league, he wasn't accurate. Hadn't had the weapons that he has now. His offensive line blocks. He's protected. They valued protecting their quarterback in the early going, and that's why I think we've seen a improvement level from Tua from one year to the next. Tua has improved night and day more from one year to the next than Joe Burrow has. Joe Burrow is worse this year than he was last year. He has not gotten better. Joe Burrow's up and down. That's called inconsistency. Not a bad quarterback. If he was the Browns quarterback all season, I would not be upset with that at all. So calm down for you whiny Bengals fans. However, I think Tua has been the significantly better quarterback than Joe Burrow this season. That's why one's in the MVP conversation and the other one's trying to figure out what am I going to do until my star wide receiver gets back. So Tua, give him a ton of credit because he got bashed coming out. Remember, like the Dolphins or whoever that year, they were tanking for Tua, and then Tua was this afterthought. He was this, oh man, the Dolphins, there's a reason they were trying to give up the entire farm to go get Joe Burrow because Tua was no longer. Tua is why they have a chance to get to a Super Bowl this year. And how about that, by the way, the NFC East, you asked a few weeks ago, has an entire conference, entire division ever made the playoffs before? I don't want to say it's never happened, but with the way people are reacting right now, if the playoffs started today, the entire AFC East would be in the playoffs right now.
That's crazy.
Right now. But look, the Bills get the attention. The Patriots get the attention because they're the Patriots, and good for them for continuing to win enough games to be in the mix here. And the Jets doing a good job there. But I think right now the team that's playing the best football in the East is the Dolphins. I think they're the most well-balanced team, offense and defense. I'm a big Dolphins guy right now. I think that, I have to find that AFC team to kind of pull for now that the Browns are kind of in the rearview mirror until next season. That Dolphins team, I think, is the hottest team in football right now. Good for the Dolphins. And that was a good game for them yesterday. They dominated. They ran the ball. Tua passed the ball at a high level. Third straight week with 3 touchdowns. He's thrown for 1,000 yards over his last 4 games and also 12 touchdowns. I'm sorry. The dude's he's playing at an elite level. Only 2 interceptions in that time as well.
Big props to their coach and play caller, McDaniels. He's not asking Tua to be Patrick Mahomes and take these deep rail shots. He's asking Tua, hey, man, it's really the old school 49ers offense that Steve Young and Joe Montana ran. Get the ball out your hands fast and get it to Jerry Rice and John Taylor. Like, get it out to those playmakers quick. And when you have the 2 fastest wide receivers in the NFL, get it to them quick and let them do damage. And then when you're not doing that, they dominate in the run game. They really, especially yesterday. So I got another question for you. $1 American. We all know the Minnesota Vikings only have 1 loss on the season. Who is that loss to?
It was on prime time. It was the Packers.
Incorrect.
Who'd they lose to?
Philly, where I'm from. They lost to Philadelphia week 2, 24-7.
Why don't you just give me the damn dollar? You're trying to give the damn dollar away.
This is good for the show.
You're trying to give the dollar away. And by the way, is it them fake dollars?
No, this is a real deal. This is real. I don't even know how I had $4 in my wallet today. I don't even carry cash.
I'm not Shayla. You don't have to lie to me while you have all these dollar bills in your pocket.
Left over.
How about
an epic weekend?
It sure as hell is not for the vending machine downstairs with 5-year-old expired Reese's Pieces. Do they even make Reese's Pieces anymore?
Yes.
There's a bag down in our, vending machine downstairs that, COVID apparently just totally changed how we get snacks around here.
I'm eating healthy snacks now. Carrots and celery.
Again, you don't have to lie to me. You're good. You're good. Actually, yeah.
I'm in middle of week 3 of packing my lunch. 3 weeks in a row. Clap it up for me.
I'm 33. I'm 33 straight years of eating lunch. So we're, so there's that. All right. Let's see. 518-1410, 518-1410. But thoughts, right now on the Dolphins. Look, the Bengals, they come out of this bye week. Sounds like they're going to get DJ Reader back. Sounds like early December is when, they, getting Jamar Chase back before the Chiefs game. That could be crucial. But they got the Steelers coming up. TJ Watt, is he playing?
He plays. He played.
He played
yesterday. He played yesterday. Didn't have a sack, but he played good football
so
yesterday.
He had one of them Myles Garrett games.
No, he had
paid all that money and no sacks.
Nope. 3 tackles for loss, though.
Well, the Browns lost.
And we got a dub. It was a long time.
Yeah.
Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks between victories. But we are officially back in the win column. Victory number 3 for my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers.
Justin Fields, is he for real? 518-1410. We'll be right back. He's a real person. But
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be partly cloudy, a high near 42. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy, a low near 28. And tomorrow is going to be cloudy with a chance of rain and snow, a high near 42. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
O'Reilly. See better and drive safer with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate, plus 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Rx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Dell Technologies' Black Friday event has arrived with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 50% off select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Do you have an old sports program, baseball, photo, ticket, or game-used equipment just collecting dust? Sports Investments wants to buy your sports memorabilia. They're also interested in old sports cards and also buying political, aviation, and entertainment items. Bring your collectibles to Sports Investments and get a fair value on the spot. If you decide to sell, they'll pay you immediately. Sports Investments is the largest buyer of memorabilia and cards in the area since 1993. Sports Investments also feature the best selection of autographed memorabilia, sports cards, and other collectible items for sale, including all your favorites like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Bengals, the Browns, the Big Red Machine, UC, XU, UK, NKU, UD, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State, just to name a few. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
Want to make tonight's dinner a true winner? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 12-piece family meal at a great price. You'll get 12 pieces of our classic Famous Recipe Chicken that's honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and pressure-cooked just right, along with 3 of our large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. This is temptation times 12. Get the family meal that's big on flavor and on value with the 12-piece family meal. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kenner, Kev Nash back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. We got the Buckeye Roundtable show coming up immediately following our show here tonight. That we talked a little college basketball earlier. The Dayton Flyers 2-0. They moved up to number 21 in the updated AP rankings from earlier today. Of course, they beat 2-0 in the season. They got that big win over SMU this past Friday night. I didn't think it was that pretty of a game. Their 3-point shooting is going to cost them down the stretch. Like, they have to find a way to shoot the ball at a more consistent rate. Amzil, though, like seeing him kind of pop off the way he has, like he looks like a much different player for UD this year. I know last year he was, one of the Flyers were kind of horrendous to start last year. You don't lose 3 straight bye games and not be horrendous. But then to watch him, who had a lot of expectations coming in, not play at a high level last year, then he hit that big shot against Kansas last year, and then kind of was just very up and down. But when they've been able to go on runs from behind the 3-point line, he's been catching fire from time to time, but it's going to take more than him. UD looks good, though. You're typical. Deron Holmes. Malachi Smith, update on him, not really from the team itself, but out of the walking boot, so that's good. That shows signs of progress.
Absolutely.
And, will he be back before the Atlantis tournament? I don't know, but nonetheless, it's good signs to see him out of that walking boot. That means things are healing correctly, and he's progressing towards coming back, so that's good.
So who are the other teams in the A-10 that we need to keep an eye on contending for the A-10 title outside of the Flyers?
Man, who did come in? By the way, for those in the comment section, the A-10, who is – sorry, I'm reading these comments.
Obviously, Davidson, since they beat the great Wright State Raiders.
No, Davidson's a middle-of-the-pack team this year in the A-10. They lost a lot from last year. They lost their coach. Of course, now it's the coach, McKinnon, whatever his name is. It's his son coaching now. Still wears a suit. I thought we were out of the suit game with the coaches. I like Coach Nagy is like the freshest coach out there. Just saying, but yeah, it was weird. Like I thought it was like a show off type of mode, wearing a suit over on the sideline. I'm like, all right, dress to him, dress for the job you want, not the job you have, type of deal. Maybe he has no interest in being a Davidson. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but nonetheless.
Where do you come down with that? With the coaches being allowed to wear, track suits and polos, and as opposed to suited and booted?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. But now that I think about it, you were used to seeing coaches always in suits on game day and that type of thing. My thing that don't bother me one way or another, as long as they're not showing up in fur coats and looking like the Hamburglar.
Oh goodness, I think the only coaches I see still wearing suits are the hockey coaches. Obviously, the NFL coaches, you haven't seen a coach, wear a suit since Tom Landry. They've been wearing jackets and hoodies since I can remember. Now that the NBA guys are allowed to wear polos and, team uniform type of stuff, obviously baseball, they look like they're about to go out there and play a game. So, yeah, I think it's over. I think it's over for the suit game.
And, like I said, I don't think coaches have to they don't wear suits during practice.
Right.
NFL coaches don't wear suits. NBA coaches don't wear suits anymore. Although I always did love the Pat Riley look. Pat Riley, but that was LA, right? When he was, he was brought it to Miami as well. But in LA, that just, that had that, and then he had he looked like a mob dude, like Pitino, like Rick Pitino. He's at Iona now, correct?
Yeah.
He's a guy that I think he still wears the suit. I don't know. I'm not a big Iona fan. I don't watch Iona basketball, but I'm assuming, does he still break out the suit game? He's one of those guys that he has to wear a suit, right? He looks like a suit guy. I think he sleeps in a suit.
Let's find out.
I think the only time he takes the suit off is that's what led to getting him in trouble. That's what led to getting him in trouble. I'm just saying, but yeah.
This latest picture, he has a sweater vest on.
The old school sweater vest, huh?
Sweater vest. Nice. Oh, now in this other one, he has a cardigan on with a tie, certain tie gang.
Classic.
Okay.
Classic Pitino. You surprised he hasn't jumped ship yet? Well, he can get paid. He can get paid a lot. You surprised he hasn't left Iona yet?
I am. Oh, here's another one. He has a suit on in this one.
So,
he's biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity. Just like Hugh Freeze, he's still at Liberty. They just gave him a big contract extension. Let something go south somewhere that he think he gonna win big. They'll be out of there.
Yeah.
They'll be out of
Problem
there.
is, what you're starting to see is a lot of these long-time tenured coaches. They're laying in their, they're the coach in waiting. Like Syracuse, it's only have they announced their coach in waiting? I
don't think that's legal anymore. I don't think you can do that anymore. I think
isn't that what Duke did? What Shire?
I think they just hired him hey, well, he's going to be our head coach.
Isn't that the same thing? North Carolina did the same thing too, where they,
Hubert Davis.
I thought you had to post these positions.
Yeah.
That's what I find interesting. We're stricter with our board ops positions here at little old WING than these national billion-dollar industry.
Non-competes and everything like that for board op.
So, yeah, how about that? Yeah. But nonetheless, No, you asked about the A-10, like St. Louis is there at the top. You always got to have VCU there too. Loyola Chicago, that's another team that's just coming. Loyola, of course, with Sister Jean and company. That's I love that addition to the A-10. I love that addition to the A-10. The recent Final Four run, regular in the tournament now. They went on another nice run last year. But I like that, with them as well. So we'll see what ends up happening. Loyola has a player named Braden Norris. His brother Keaton plays at Wright State.
Okay.
So the Norris family.
I remember you telling me that story last year.
So that's pretty cool. During the NCAA tournament, both kids, Loyola and Wright State both playing not each other, but at the same time, nonetheless. But Valentine's the coach over at Loyola. I like the addition of Loyola to the A-10.
Nice.
But nonetheless. So as far as, Dayton goes, like I said, that's big win over VCU. Vegas had that as an 11-point line, and they go on and win by, 12. So there's that. But did you get a chance to watch any of that game on Friday?
I did not watch any of that game. No, I was watching, what was it? Eastern Michigan and Michigan. Yeah.
How disrespectful. You were in Dayton and you're watching that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Dayton. I know you guys are like, oh, we can always count on Kenner. I'm here. Don't worry.
Oh, and matter of fact, I also that evening I went out to the Centerville Springfield game. Man, first time actually seeing Anthony Brown in person, wide receiver from
Going to Kentucky, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, I watched him when they played Northmont. I think it was that last week of the regular season. I watched Springfield and Northmont, and Springfield was not sharp in the first half, and then all of a sudden, they just flipped a switch. Anthony Brown had like 3 touchdowns. I mean, he went off, but that kid, super talented. I think he can go elsewhere other than Kentucky. That's not a shot at Kentucky, but that's how talented he is. Like he's the real deal. Springfield's had a lot of them dudes.
Yeah.
Including Coach Mukes, not Coach Mukes, sorry, that's over at Wayne. But the coach's son, why am I drawing a blank?
Mo
Douglas. My gosh, sorry, folks. But Mo Douglas, his kid plays out at Kentucky as well. So they have a nice little pipeline out there as far as that goes. You surprised Kentucky sort of falling off, ever since all that. I mean, Calipari just had to remind them.
He had to remind them.
Calipari, we trust because Kentucky football, which by the way, I think the stupidest narrative in the world is we're a basketball school. We're a football school. Stop. Just go freaking win. Like Ohio State being a football school is not why Ohio State can't win in basketball.
Right.
Like that. I've never understood that narrative. I think that's a dumb narrative. I know that you could argue that when we say we're a football school, we're more known for football, but people have taken that narrative and twisted it to this idea that, well, Chris Holtman, he's not going to win there because they're a football school. What? Like, stop. What does that even mean? I mean, I know what it means, but like that weird mindset. I think we just say things to say it and don't realize how silly it sounds. But Calipari said some common sense things like when you think of Kentucky, it's a basketball school. It's not saying that you can't win at football, but all the money coming into that school, yes, coming because of football. But, ever since that day, he said we're a basketball school. And then Kentucky lost all their football games after that. So there's that. All right. Wright State beat Louisville. Over the weekend, 73-72, a Trey Calvin buzzer beater, beating the ACC's Louisville Cardinals on the road. How about that? Wright State returns home tomorrow night, Kev. They got Bowling Green coming in. I like their non-con. People complain about the non-D1s that they had to put on the schedule with like Defiance and stuff, and I get that, but it's just one of them things where, focus on that's a good quality non-con. They got Abilene Christian, UC Riverside, Weber State. They got Akron coming in. So like they have a tough non-conference. It's not a tough non-conference by UD standards, but UD and Wright State are two different programs. It's not the same. But as far as who Wright State is, getting that win over Louisville, a down Louisville team, I get that, but you're the Horizon League school. Since Scott Nagy took over at Wright State, Cav, like they've beat 3 ACC schools and they almost beat Clemson in the NIT a few years ago. Like they had Clemson on the ropes with Brad Burnell. Brad Burnell, who coached at Wright State back in the day, is at Clemson still. Right. They almost beat Brad Burnell in the NIT that year at Clemson. But no, they beat Georgia Tech.
Yes. Okay. That's the one they won. They beat
last year. They won on the road at NC State, and then they just won at Louisville this week on the buzzer beater. Trey Calvin just won Player of the Week, by the way, to the surprise of nobody. So
Wright State about to bump up to the ACC conference.
Maybe. Oh, look, Ron must have forgot that we told him he's banned from the show because he's trying to call in.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Hey, Ron, you're live on the air. You're banned, and now you're off the air. Ron, you're banned. You're banned till January. You dropped some very unfortunate non-FCC approved words, and we're punishing you. We're holding you accountable. Something the Browns do not do. I can't wait when they beat. Ron's Buccaneers, though. coming up in a few weeks.
We beat the Buccaneers.
Tom Brady's undefeated since he got divorced. So
yikes. You know, she's
The key to
allegedly got a
success.
new boyfriend already.
Oh, no.
Imagine that, a supermodel getting a new boyfriend that quick. Imagine that.
That's somebody combined. 518-1410. Close out the show next. Justin Fields, is he for real? That's what we'll close out with. He's a real person.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Houday Nation, Betfred has come all the way from England to the great state of Ohio with over 50 years of sports betting experience. No emperors, no movie stars, just a sportsbook you can trust. The Betfred Sportsbook app will be available on January 1st, 2023. Until then, download the Bengals app or go to betfredsports.com and have a chance to win Bengals tickets and exclusive merchandise. Official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is in shape for the season with the experts and community trusted service that you can rely on from William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning. We're offering exclusive savings opportunities on the new Lennox system. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 today or visit us online at DaytonHeatingandCooling.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Ohio license number 14911.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Service Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, recipient of Honda's President's Award. When your vehicle needs service, we make it convenient. Open 6 days a week, including all day Saturday. We also welcome same-day appointments and walk-ins as well. Our technicians are factory trained, and we offer a new state-of-the-art facility, clean waiting rooms, loaner cars, and free alignment checks as well. Ask for the $99.95 alignment special. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
So sorry the food is late.
You should order through EasyCater. Professionally delivered on time and as ordered.
Totally would, but the E is broken on my keyboard.
Just get IT to fix it.
Totally would. Can't type the word help.
Why don't all companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. It's our thing.
Okay, can I have everybody's attention for just a second?
Morgan's media planning firm just landed a multi-million-dollar client.
Because we won the pitch.
She needs to staff up before trafficking hits a traffic jam.
So we're going to need research, planning, buying, obviously, and probably data analytics.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your daily commute. You could do it alone. The downside is spending thousands each year on gas, parking, and vehicle maintenance, not to mention the air pollution you're causing. There is a smarter way. Introducing GoHio Commute. What is GoHio Commute? It's a free service with info on commuting options like ride matching for carpoolers, van poolers, and bike poolers, and links to local public transit providers. Go to MiamiValleyRideshare.org or call 223-SAVE for details. GoHio Commute, a smarter way.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Hurry in to Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase. Or shop Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 instant gift. Mattresses and bases are in stock for fast delivery. With our Love Your Mattress guarantee, get the lowest price and 120 nights to sleep on it. Only at Mattress Firm. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
It's a new day because COVID vaccines just got a big update. So all the big stuff coming up this fall? Well, now you can say, you bet I'll be there. Because updated COVID vaccines protect against both the original COVID virus and Omicron. And everyone 5 and older can get one. So this is a moment we've all been waiting for.
Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Your daily commute. You could do it alone. The downside is spending thousands each year on gas, parking, and vehicle maintenance, not to mention the air pollution you're causing. There is a smarter way. Introducing GoHio Commute. What is GoHio Commute? It's a free service with info on commuting options like ride matching for carpoolers, van poolers, and bike poolers, and links to local public transit providers. Go to MiamiValleyRideshare.org or call 223-SAVE for details. GoHio Commute, a smarter way.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am Hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got